please tip me. And I mean this, I really need the help right now. If you guys aren't aware, the stream earlier today was pretty much a complete bust. So I played Blair Witch and I beat it in only 90 minutes. The ending was terrible. Then I did an impromptu Street Fighter throwback stream, which was fun, but no one was really expecting it, so we didn't get a lot of attendees, and the contributions today have been very low. So if you can please help me out tonight with tipping me, I would really, really appreciate it. I need the help for my bills and everything this week, and today I got basically almost nothing. I was like, damn, you know, it happens sometimes. There's not much you can do about it. It just sucks that because Blair Witch ended up being a dud, that this happens, right? So hopefully you guys are excited for the conclusion of Judgment tonight, and hopefully maybe some people will be generous. If not, not much I can do about it, but just saying, if you guys want to help me out tonight, please consider tipping me. It helps me more than anything, and I really need the help right now, okay? Okay? Mark McCauley says, hint, hint. Dude, no hint, hint. I'm outright telling you, I really would appreciate some help via tipping. That's not a hint. That's saying, if you can, please help, because it really sucked earlier today. It was so goddamn slow. Spent all day in an arcade, and you ate in an expensive restaurant behind the scenes. When the fuck did I say that? I said I ate at an inexpensive Indian restaurant. I told you the most expensive item on the menu was $13. I spent significantly less than that. I told you. My whole bill was under $30. Shit. Just to give you some perspective, last week I ate at Chick-fil-A, okay? And I think the total bill there was like $22. So I spent a couple extra dollars to eat at an Indian restaurant. I didn't say I ate in an expensive Indian restaurant, you fucking idiot. As for the arcade, I didn't say I even spent $1 at the arcade. I said we walked into the arcade to see what games they had because we had not been there in so long. I did not say we spent all day spending money at the arcade. You are a complete, brain-dead, empty-headed, vacuous piece of fucking human shit. And that's the truth. Because you make shit up. You literally took what I said, you completely skewed the words into something to pass your own negative narrative, alright? You are a piece of human feces. You don't do anything productive for anyone, and you should really look in the mirror and reestimate what you're doing with your fucking life, because it sure as hell ain't worth a shit, okay? Alright.
Hey yo, I just want to say shout out to my red bike. It got stolen about a year ago, and I think about you every day. But, you know, now I got a blue bike, and it's not the same, but it's a new life, a new journey. So, rest in pedals, red bike, I love you. I like to bask in the tropics with a flask in my pocket. If you act an brolic, I'll start laughing and mocking like a charismatic parrot that is a comic. Now I'm feeling like the shit, cause I'm rapping with phonics. Loose off of Jen Ricky's, perusing Sin City, riding my Schwinn smooth like the swing of Ken Griffey, and the felt of the velvet. I said hell with a helmet. I can tell that you're jealous of the smell of the shellfish. Don't tell me I need a haircut. You can't walk a mile in my shoes cause I'm barefoot. Bob's taking the toke, God's making the joke. With a Mickey Man or rookie card, close pinned in my spoke. I'm partying with the dead like Dia de los Muertos.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Galtopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are doing well. Let me put out a little PSA. For anybody who's emailed me recently, just to help me out, make sure that the, the email address is actually working, it is, so thank you for that. And anybody who's actually sent me any emails, I've tried to work my way through some of them. If I haven't responded back to you yet, give me a little bit of time and I will. Same thing with my DMs on Twitter. I've just been really busy over the last couple days, few days actually, and so I'm having just a hard time kind of getting to this aspect and kind of getting back to you, but I will. So like I said, my apologies that it's taken a little longer than normal, but I will respond back to you, okay? I really appreciate you reaching out to me for whatever reason, and just give me a reason, and just give me a little bit of time and I'll be able to respond back to you. So yeah. Now that we have that out the way, let's go ahead and get into what the situation is. Ladies and gentlemen, we have three videos that are going to build our broadcast for today. Yep. Still trying to catch up, and we almost are. And then we get into some exposés that I've been working on, thanks to Mrhuth Stuff, who has come through on the clutch. All three videos are brought to us by one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, DSP. First video will be, let's see here, Begging and getting Borderlands 3, which, as you guys know, up to this point, he said that he wasn't sure if he was going to get it or not, and, you know, he thought he might have to skip it, and we'll get into that in a second. But begging and getting Borderlands 3, I will not devour the bait, and I'm always truthful with you. Truthful with you. I personally put the emphasis on that again, because I wanted y'all to hear it. Second video. Let's see here. DSP, you must make my streams fun and entertaining. Again in the red after a day off. I'm looking at all of y'all right now. You can't see it, but I'm looking at all of you, because you know what that means. And then for the last video of our broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Snort Burnell, DSP. No day one views for the Genesis Mini. I'm sorry. Begging interactions. And dramatic drop-off on YouTube views. Okay, so how do we approach this? Excuse me. Begging and ends up getting Borderlands 3. Now, as you guys know, he was on the fence about playing it. He gave us this spiel about, oh, people didn't like the multiplayer aspect of it. They'd rather me play it solo, because when I was playing co-op with other people, like 5 or 6 years ago, by the way, you know, people didn't like it, and people thought that it was boring, and now I don't think I'm going to do co-op. And when I say that, ladies and gentlemen, I don't mean him doing co-op in Borderlands 3. He's making it sound like, this is just my opinion, he's making it sound like he's going to give up doing co-op with anybody ever. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're as best as I can, I'm all about trying to utilize the resources that are around me to make things better. There's another person in that house, allegedly, who is a gamer, allegedly. Can she not pick up a controller and co-op with you, Phil? Is that not a thing? You guys say you're both gamers. You guys both say that he's come out and said he wished he could spend more time with her. Fair enough. Then why don't you do a co-op session with her once a week? Kind of like what you were doing with Panda. Kind of, sort of. Until that completely dropped off. I'm just saying, if he's having such a hard time finding people to co-op with, despite all the pay piggies and all these loyalists that he has around him, you could ask Kat, or Catherine, sorry, I don't really like calling her Kat anymore. You could call Catherine and have her do it with you. Wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But whatever. So he's going to run that. So that's what he was talking about, and he was on the fence about getting it. Apparently he's getting it. I don't devour the bait. That must be on stream, and he always goes for the bait in some way, shape, or form. Well, maybe not always. Some more than others, maybe. I guess it's debatable. It's debatable. I guess I'll have to think about that a little further. But more often than not, if you're clever about what you say and how you say it, or if there's a decent amount of money attached to it, you can pretty much bait him into almost anything. And I'm always truthful with you. I really can't say that with even a straight face. No. Didn't this idiot recently just say that he lied to all of us to protect his family? So either A, he doesn't understand what being truthful is, or B, maybe he's really the mentally ill individual here, who can't remember what he says literally from day to day to day. There's something wrong with that. There's something very wrong with that if we're going to have to go down this route. And since he doesn't mind throwing the mentally ill situation out there with a type of disdain that makes me think that he really doesn't like people who have mental issues. Hence the reason why he threw Panda out there. But also, it makes me wonder, is it a form of self-hatred? Because Phil knows he has mental shortcomings. We all do. But Phil's is definitely very apparent because of how he publicizes himself and how far he's out there. So it makes me wonder, does he shit on people who he feels that are mentally beneath him to make himself feel stronger, while also putting out the emphasis that you shouldn't give these people any credibility because look at their current situation? It's almost like, if he was smart enough, it was almost like you should feel bad for them, but don't even pay any attention to them because they do not know for what they do. Almost to kind of cover up his own shortcomings. I know that we're starting to get into some 4D chess type shit with that, and I might be overthinking it as I usually do. But I've been thinking about that for a while because thank you to Tevin, praise be, had a clip of Phil saying I think it was back in his condo in Connecticut, that he was like, I wish I could control mentally ill people. I'm pretty sure it was back in Connecticut, but it may have been even in the first or second year in Washington State. So that's a thing. Just throwing that out there. I'm sure someone else has seen that clip. So it's a thing. Also, someone had asked in the comment section recently that you were a little bit confused, and that's my fault. You're not confused because you're confused. You're confused because I confused you. So that's my apologies. Does Phil have a house, a condo, a townhouse? I think it's probably best described as almost like a townhouse. I would think. I would have to say it's like a townhouse. I mean, yeah, I would say it's more like a townhouse. Because it's not necessarily like a standalone. Because I think his house is actually attached to somebody else's. I think. At least from some of the pictures that I've seen. So, and hence the reason why his yard is the way it is and so on and so forth. But that's my thoughts. So someone will correct me in the comment section, as they always do. Thank you very much for that. But I think it's almost like a townhome, to be honest with you. But it's much bigger than what he needs either which way. That's why people make the memes about it being a mansion and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, whether it's a townhouse or it's just a house itself, it's still just a house. It's more than what he needs. It's certain he doesn't need that. He could have, now that you brought that up, he could have bought himself a really nice condo in Seattle and been, in Washington State anywhere, and he'd been fine. He would have been fine, but he wanted more than what he needed, because that right there solidifies his success. That is him telling himself every single day, look at all that I have, look at all that I've attained, and who cares about what these people online say about me? He does, by the way, but look at what I have. This right here proves my success. But in truth, all of that is negated because of, I guess you could say, brain dead idiots like myself, like Lightside Bill, like Tevin, like Snort Burnell, like anybody and everybody who's ever spoken out against them. That hurts him. It hurts him in the worst way possible. Because what good is it to have a castle with no one in there to rule over, I should say. Now, most of you are going to be like, well, come on, GTG. He has all of his fans. He has the cult. That's a little different. He does have people to rule over. It's a little bit different than that. I'll have to actually sit down one day and actually write all this out. Not necessarily a script, but just so I have better points. And I'll try to talk you through it. But he doesn't respect those people. He doesn't value those people. He only values what they do for him. It's very much, what's the word for it? Is it utilitarianism? I have the word. It's just on the tip of my tongue. The point is this: Phil is very much one of these individuals who, if you don't have a use, you're merely in the way. That's pretty much it. Everybody who's there has to serve a purpose, and if they don't, they're useless. The thing is, though, is a part of Phil wants people who are strong of mind, strong of opinion, and who believe in what he says and can go out and actually convey that to other people. Who can articulate it in such a way that people would gravitate to them, and then by proxy gravitate to him. You know what I mean? That's what he really wants. He doesn't want drones. He wants thinkers. But the thing is that's a double-edged sword, because he wants thinkers, but he doesn't want people who will question him. You know what I mean? It's kind of strange. It's like it's almost like you want free speech, except you don't want any of that free speech to be directed towards you. It's utilitarian, by the way. Sorry about that. But at least that was the word I was looking for. It's kind of like that, and you can't have life like that. You can't have life both ways. Not everybody's gonna love you and not hate you. Like, you have to take a little bit of both. I don't think anybody online hates anybody. Well, that's not true. That's a blatant lie. I'm sorry. How do I word this? Not everybody online who has been with you from day one or from any period of time is going to stick with you forever. It's just being realistic. It's not because they dislike you or any of that. People grow. And people grow every day. For Phil, he never learned, he never understood how that worked. He never learned from it. And because of that, it's the reason why he's where he's at now. And Phil is a natural user, by the way. It's what he does. It's probably one of the things he's the best at, if I had to say. There are other people who do it better, but if nothing else, one of his best talents, if you will, is he uses people. And he'll use them until they're completely dried up, and then he'll toss them out and try to find someone else. I wouldn't necessarily call it grooming other people, but certainly trying to set other people up to take that position. The only problem is, and this is one of his greatest failures, is he never found anybody to replace Brightside Viking, because there's nobody like Brightside Viking. To be honest, Vidal is a very unique individual all in himself, and you can't really replace someone like that. That's like a once-in-a-lifetime type individual that you stumble upon. And Phil casted him aside over nothing. I'll get into that story later on, because I've already told that story before. But I'll end up jumping on that at a later time and date. But that's really what Phil's situation is. That's what Phil really would want. You know what I mean? Having a bunch of yes men is one thing, but that doesn't do anything on the wider scale, in the bigger picture. You're not getting anything done like that. It's self-indulgence. But that right there is not helping you convince the larger metropolis to be like, take me seriously. I'm not really this bad person. Hear me out, and I have these people here that can help convey that message. He can go ahead and send whoever he has right now, and they can have a conversation for a little while until they start getting frustrated, and then they immediately go ahead and snap into DSP mode, and then they start going into insults and things like that. That's useless. You don't need people like that. Those people can't hold an argument, and those people aren't going to convey your message well. And even if they can hold it together for a little while, eventually they'll crack. The weak do so. And I call those people weak, not all of them, but the majority of them. You have to be somewhat weak of personality if you're going to follow Phil, or you're going to believe anything he says. They're weak because he's conditioned them to be weak. I'm not going to apologize for that. That's what that is. If you're going to let someone constantly lie to you about things that you obviously know that are wrong, that you guys are having private conversations with each other, saying, you know what Phil said today don't sound right, or what Phil said last week don't sound right, or things are not, kind of jiffing together, if you will. And yet you still go out there and you still want to contribute and this, that, and the third because you're scared of what you're losing, when in actuality, what you think you're going to lose is nothing in the bigger picture. Some of those very individuals, because that's really what it is. It's a hive mind type situation, and a lot of people don't want to leave because of the people that they're cool with over there. The problem is, realistically, if you were honest with yourself, and maybe even honest with each other, you would come to the realization that a lot of those individuals feel the exact same way you do. They're just waiting for someone to say it. Not necessarily out in public, it could be just in a private conversation. They're waiting for someone to say it and bring each other together into it. I'm not trying to coerce another detractor group within DSP's thing. He already has that. But it's very obvious that some of you feel very uncomfortable about what Phil says on a day-to-day basis, and you don't want to say anything because you're afraid of what you're going to lose, when what you have is nothing. It's nothing to hold on to. It's like Phil with his hoarding. He's holding on to a bunch of shit in that office or in that nook that don't mean a goddamn thing to nobody, really, or at least not to him. And he could be giving that away. He could be going ahead and sending that shit to you guys. You guys were willing to pay for it. Whatever. Most of that stuff he never touched anyway outside of him unboxing it. He won't do it because he's a hoarder. He doesn't want to give up anything. Unless he really needs to, and then he wants the max amount of price for it, which is what unrealistic motherfuckers are like. And so you guys kind of feed into that situation, and you fall into that situation. But that's just my own opinion as it pertains to that. So that's which goes on to the whole thing about being truthful as a whole. Okay, so you must come to my streams, you must make my streams fun and entertaining. And once again, I'm in the red after a day off. That goes back into my first point about all the lies. It's funny how every time he makes all this money, or he makes a decent amount of money before he goes on a day off, he comes back and he acts like he's been broke all month again. Yet again, if you guys are going to fall for this, then you guys deserve what you get. But then you guys can't run around here and cry victim, right? When you guys allowed yourselves to be victimized over and over and over again. For what reason, I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows. And as long as and for Phil, when he shows back up to the streams every day and he sees that you guys are throwing him money, he's thinking, well, shit, you guys are stupid. You guys are idiots, and you guys are going to let me keep taking advantage of you, so why wouldn't I do it? In his mind, it makes no sense not to take advantage of somebody who's allowing themselves to be taken advantage of. That's how Phil's head works. That's how his head works. When Phil does this whole thing with the bottle crunching, the snorting into the mic, the belching, and all that nonsense now, as long as people, as a majority, will sit there and accept it, he'll keep doing it. 1 or 2 people speak out on it, and he gives his bullshit reasons. 2 or 3 more people say something about it, they get banned. Maybe if all of you guys said that, maybe you had a better chance of him stopping. He can't ban all of you. But that's neither here nor there. As for making his streams fun and entertaining, you guys aren't there to work another job. You're there for him to entertain you. And Phil has never liked that idea. That's why he wants YouTube back so badly. That's why he wants YouTube to fix itself so badly. He wants to be able to sit on his love seat, he wants to get himself drunk, and he wants to play games shitty and collect that YouTube ad revenue. He never wanted to do streaming as something fun or entertaining or something to expand himself. He did it because it was the only way he could make money, or at least so he thought. That's what it comes down to. And yet, now that he's convinced you guys to pay all of his bills, to pay his taxes, to pay his back taxes, to pay for his way of living in general, his lifestyle, everything he's ever purchased for Cat, so on and so forth, why not? You guys should be clocking in when you go to his streams and getting the work to draw new people in and to make his streams as entertaining as possible. It's funny how a stream that's supposed to be completely and totally focused around him requires other people besides him to make it entertaining, to make it fun, to make it engaging. It's amazing how that's a thing. But yet again, if you guys are willing to do the grunts work on that, then go ahead. And best of luck to you. For the last point, let's see, no day one views on the Genesis Mini, begging for interactions, and dramatic drop in YouTube views. The Genesis Mini, that means nothing, because he's not going to utilize it the way he should, and so in turn it's a waste of a product on him anyway. It is what it is. I personally I think I said this a broadcast or 2 back, whoever it is that's buying it for him, send it to him, let Phil go ahead and make his money off of it, and then Phil should send it back to you so it doesn't go to waste. It should be done like that for all games, for all peripherals. Make sure he sanitizes it before he sends it back to you, anything he's wearing or touching. But it should be like that for all peripherals. And this way, his fan base is contributing, but you're getting something back. James the Lesser said something in my comment section when I initially brought this up, that maybe he should sign it or something. He should autograph it when he sends it back to you, just to show his appreciation. But Phil won't do any of those things, because Phil's a hoarder, as I said earlier on, and he's not going to look at it that way. That's what I'd do. You know what I mean? This way, you guys, if you want some real interaction, if you will, but more importantly, if you really want investment in a streamer or whoever, in an online personality, that's your investment. Hey, GTG, I'm getting you this. Sorry, GTG, I'm getting you this game. You play it, and when you're done, send it back to me so I can play it. As a bonus, as a courtesy, as an appreciation. I'll sign something. I'll sign the box itself if you want. I don't know. I'll do something. You know what I mean? If I'm selling merch, I'll go ahead and wrap a shirt into it that I'll sign to go along with it and send it to you just as my appreciation, just a token of I appreciate you doing these things. So this way it doesn't go to waste. Everything Phil has gone to waste over the years. That's why when he gets mad about all the giveaways he used to do back in the day, right? Talked about that a little bit on the Fight Club channel, but we're going to get into that further. There are more important things that I'm working on at the moment, but over there I should say. But he used to give away empty game boxes when people were like, "Where's the games at?" Oh, I already went and traded them back at GameStop. Why the fuck did you keep the game boxes then? Trade it all. Like, why would you why would you just go ahead and trade the game off and keep the boxes? They made no sense. Oh, it was a hardcover collector's case, this, that, and third. Well, so it meant something to you at that particular moment, but it means nothing now because you're giving it away to your quote-unquote fans. Why'd you keep any of it? It was just dumb. Like, stuff like that doesn't make any sense, but that right there feeds back into my theory that he is a hoarder. It wasn't like he had some big brain scheme that he was going to use those things as giveaway items. That wasn't the case at all. He was like, I need to give something away that I really don't give a fuck about, and I don't want to give away anything that I really like, so I'm going to do this. Think about all those posters and everything and stuff from the FGC that he left back in Connecticut. He should have given all that stuff away a long time ago, but he didn't, because yet again, he's a hoarder, and he wanted to keep it because he thought he had value to him, but it really didn't. Or sorry, it really didn't. My apologies. That's one of his problems. But it's neither here nor there. So the thing with the mini is, just like I said, it's a wasted peripheral. Whoever it is who paid for it, I actually feel rather sad for you. Kind of. It'll pass in a minute. Begging for interaction. Yet again, going back to, you have to make his streams fun and entertaining. And now he's getting more and more upset that people aren't talking to him, despite the fact that he has nothing to talk about. He should be able to initiate a conversation on his own. He shouldn't need someone to carry him there. I don't know, whatever. I guess that's what happens when you don't leave your house and you're complete and total fucking shut-in, and all you do is talk to a bunch of faceless people online all the goddamn day. You really don't have too much to say about anything. Even Jasper doesn't go in there as often as Jasper used to. It tells you something. Anyway, and last point is the dramatic drop-off in YouTube views. That's because of a bunch of different reasons, ladies and gentlemen. To be honest, he can keep blaming the trolls and haters all he wants, but there's no way of interacting with Phil on his YouTube channel. Period. Even his community tab, he doesn't use. I don't even think he's ever used it, so you can't reach out to him there either. All of these different points are interaction. No one shares his videos, I don't think, except for himself and maybe a couple of loyalists. That's not enough. Yet again, because the likes and dislikes are disabled at times, and more importantly, because there's no comment section, there's nothing there. There's no reason for people to come back to his videos. There's no reason for people to initially click on his videos. And yet again, because of the automatic filter, any naughty words or dirty words, as Phil likes to say, would automatically get quarantined anyway. It is what it is. He doesn't want to initiate the YouTube comment section, because if he has to come back, and I think he knows he's going to have to come back eventually, he doesn't want to have to deal with a clusterfuck of a mess anymore. The problem is that it's already a clusterfuck of a mess now. You might as well try to get as much engagement out of it as possible, but he won't do it. Because he's scared that, oh, if I go ahead and put my comment section back on, all these disgusting people are going to come in and screw up my comment section, and then if any new people show up, they're going to go automatically get discouraged, or they're going to be disgusted by it, and they're not going to show up. Well, the problem is you don't have any new people there now. The reason why you don't have any new people now is because you're not being recommended. The reason why you're not being recommended is because there's no engagement there. There's no reason for YouTube to push him to the forefront. So he's sitting here worrying about people who could potentially show up, when in actuality he already has a group of people here, meaning on YouTube, meaning in South Galtopia, who are looking to interact with him here because they don't want to go up to Twitch, being Northern Galtopia. He's not utilizing what he has here right now. He's worried about people who may come, who will, like his wife, may never come. So what are you worried about? You can't worry about the people who aren't even there. You should be concerned with the people who are already here. But Phil don't think that way. But, you know, he's the one with the business degree, though, right? So it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for all of that. It was a bit much. But let's go ahead and get into the broadcast. I don't mean to hold you guys off any longer. You guys have my initial points. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Well, this is the Snort Report, and this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. And GTG Network of Productions. You guys all know the slogan. I don't smell no bacon cooking yet. But it's time. But it's time for me to get started on that. And it's time to watch me work. Also, before we do that, SnortBucks Coffee. I love SnortBucks Coffee. SnortBucks Coffee has given me the energy to continue to plow through the gout, the snout, the doubt, the just overlapping pig shit, so I can bring you guys a concise, at times, news broadcast. SnortBucks Coffee means a lot to me. It's a great product. It's my coffee of choice. Hopefully it's your coffee of choice too. SnortBucks Coffee. Best part of waking up is a bit of snort in your cup. Here we go. I'll see you guys in just a second.
was sad, but fuck it, I got a new one. Chasing rum with the juice of a plum. In the singing mood, the drinking booze like a bomb. Someone stole my red bike, so I bought a blue one. I was sad, but fuck it, I got a new one. I wanna live in Bolivia, be oblivious. I'm sick of always having to deal with these idiots. The ignorance is ubiquitous and it's hideous. When I get lucky, that's when I'm the wittiest. When people don't leave me alone, that's the shittiest. When people leave their phone at home, that's the prettiest. Going on a hike shouldn't be considered hippie shit. It's okay to spend some days away from your affiliates. Mother Nature's where I'm planting my seed. Do a dance in the breeze on the branch of a tree. I reside in my mind, that's the land of the free. I got the world in my palm, you should hand it to me. I can't copy it.
What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
Tomorrow, the Call of Duty...
Tomorrow indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Snort Burnell, DSP, begging and getting Borderlands 3. I will not devour the bait. I am always truthful with you. Defiant sniff. Doubtful sniff. Here we go.
Modern Warfare beta is launching for those who either pre-ordered the game or got in on the exclusivity beta. I'm actually in the latter category because a fan of mine, I guess, had access to the beta and gave their code to me. So now I have the beta, and I'm going to be able to play it starting tomorrow, okay? That being said, once Modern Warfare Mania launches, I don't think many people are going to give a crap about Black Ops 4 anymore, you know? So...
Now that tells me how much of an ignorant bastard he is. First things first. One, when Wings gets ready to play the beta, and when obviously DSP is going to play the beta, there are going to be a couple of people that I know who are definitely going to have that. I know Dark Dave Mirror should have it on the Wings aspect of it, as well as Lean should also have it. I'm going to probably go ahead and do a broadcast where we're going to bring some of Wings' gameplay and commentary in, and some of DSP's, if you want to call any of that gameplay or commentary, and we're just gonna have ourselves a nice little fun little situation with that. So look out for that, because I think that's gonna be interesting. As it pertains to the whole thing about Blackout dying out when Modern Warfare comes up. Now, one, I think it should be said that there is speculation that if you're following any of the Call of Duty Twitter accounts, that there might actually be some version of a battle royal for the new Modern Warfare. So maybe that's what he's talking about, but I also wouldn't give Phil enough credit to think he'd know that, or he's read up on that. So but then again, he might have seen it in a retweet, so who could say? So that's a thing. But I don't think people are going to leave Blackout. It's not going to just die out. It just doesn't do that. You know what I'm saying? There's too many people who play it. There's too many people who enjoy it. It's just not going to die out just because the new Modern Warfare come out. Because there's already people who are saying that have their doubts about Modern Warfare coming off of the alpha. So now that doesn't mean they're not going to play it. It's just, you know what I'm saying? With every new Call of Duty, the past Call of Duty is always there for a safety blanket. It's always something to go back to and play. You know what I mean? Because as any of you know who are Call of Duty heads or just casual Call of Duty players, my apologies, that usually when the new game comes out, the Activision don't have no quarrels about going ahead and just dropping all support of older games. But they're probably not going to do it with Blackout, at the very least. So that's just my opinion, of course. I have nothing to kind of corroborate that. But that's just my general opinion. But for Phil to think that it's just going to die out because he's not going to play it anymore is just more of that narcissism and just bullshit. Absolute dumb crap. Coming from an individual who says he wants to be able to be at peace in the world itself when he believes that the world still owes him and revolves around him. Despite the fact that he's a laughingstock even within the gaming universe, if you think about it. He's a joke. He's an absolute joke. And yet he still believes that people hold him to such high regard in the general masses that you should take what he says at face value and you should be able to move off of it. No one takes anything he says from a gaming aspect at face value. People are starting not to take what he says about his personal life in that same regard. You have nothing. what credibility that you may have had as a gaming personality is gone. It's been gone. You dismantled that yourself. And then as a person, as an individual, you're just a slab of bacon on the plate that I'm about to serve up. You hold no real value outside of that. Even if you're telling the truth, there will always be doubt. And that's probably the worst thing. When you're telling the truth and you still can't get people to believe you. And yet again, that is the pan that he put himself into. So if Phil has the type of impulse that he needs to take advantage of people if they allow him to, then I would have to say I want to be truthful with you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to be honest. If there's going to be a slab of bacon to go into my bacon pan, because I actually have a pan designated just for cooking bacon. Yeah, I do that. Don't judge me. Then I have to cook it. I just have to. It's mandatory. It is what it is. And I don't eat a lot of ham steak anymore. Hence the reason why I don't do anything on Boogie. So, this is what it is. DSP News.
This is the last hurrah for Black Ops 4. In reality, the last few times that we're going to be playing the game. And I could easily at some point, if we feel that the Battle Royale stuff isn't going well anymore, and it's boring or whatever, I could just stop playing it,
Immediately, when people were like, dude, when this is hot, that's hot, I would just drop everything I'm doing to do the hot thing. Alright? I would jump on every trend. I would dress up like a character on stream. I would do everything.
I mean, you are a good hoe. With that being said, hopefully, who is kind of like the foremost person who does like Call of Duty streams? It's LSB, actually. Off top, it's LSB. So hopefully LSB decides to do the Modern Warfare stuff. I really hope he does. Now I understand, if any of you guys who follow LSB, you know how his routine works. He usually only does chill stream type stuff. That's what Minecraft and Blackout are. So I would assume he'll do it for Modern Warfare, because eventually it's going to hit chill stream status. Eventually. Because once Phil gets beasted and feasted on, an older Call of Duty commentator used to say that a lot. After Phil gets beasted and feasted on, it's going to pretty much, he's going to have no choice but to turn it into a chill stream. It's just the way it's going to go. So I would say Lightside Bill pretty much has that locked in. And that in the Call of Duty streams have always been plentiful as it pertains to Gold Dust or just lore in general. So maybe Tevin will jump in every once in a while too. And then obviously we always have Dark Dave Mirrors there. So I wouldn't even have to be concerned about that. But it won't be long. It won't be long. Phil's gonna find out very, very quickly that if he doesn't utilize map knowledge, if he doesn't understand, and within map knowledge, if he doesn't understand routes, if he doesn't focus on gun skill, which he can't because he doesn't wear glasses, and his reflexes and reactions are garbage, and if he doesn't utilize his teammates properly, which of course he's not going to do that because he doesn't really understand the meta that goes into Call of Duty, he's going to fail. Period. I mean, Wings understands all of those things, and Wings doesn't do very well lately. That's why he needs slower pace type games. But even then, Wings' gun skill, I feel, is lacking in a way that I wouldn't have expected out of someone like him. But it's certainly there. His reaction time isn't there. That's why you get those sound clips of him going whenever someone pops up on his screen. He's not. It's not a matter of, oh well, he should have been more prepared for that. It's just that's how delayed he is. You know what I mean? Like, because when he's already doing the reaction, he's already too late. And so it kind of gives you a bit of an example. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Little thing to make an extra $1. I would sell out completely, which many streamers have done. I'm some fucking sellout shill who only cares about money.
And that's perfectly fine. Trust me, we have more than enough stuff to do at night on the late streams. You know, there's been games that have been on hiatus for weeks, like Dragon Quest Builders 2 and stuff that I want to put into the rotation for those streams that we haven't had a chance to do, okay? First of all, on Friday, no matter what, at some point I'm going to attempt to play the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta. I don't know when I'll be playing it. It could be the first or second stream. I don't even know if it's going to work because it launches on Thursday, and typically whenever these betas launch, they don't work. So we'll see what happens with that. I'd like to play it on Friday, alright? Now, the other big thing that comes out on Friday is Borderlands 3. I would love to play Borderlands 3. What it would be is a solo playthrough this time around. So, I'd love to start Borderlands 3 this Friday, but I can't afford it, alright? As you guys know, I told you many times, I'm in a bad financial position right now. I can't even, afford the game. Because my bank account's still in the black. Excuse me, my bank account is still in the red.
Wow. Thanks, Phil, for that slip up. Also, you saw how he kind of slowed it all down a little bit when he was like, I don't have the money, because because I just don't have it. Like, it was almost like he had to make sure everything he said came out the way he wanted it to, so he didn't slip up. But then he slipped up at the end anyway when he said that he was in the black, and then he said he's back in the red. Whatever. So that's the situation with that. You would think, ladies and gentlemen, with the amount of game credits that is gifted to him on a regular basis, he would be fine. On top of the money that, well, we can't prove all this, by the way, so let me put that disclaimer out. But with all the money that's also being gifted to him behind the scenes, hence the reason why he ended up getting rid of that little, I'm sorry, what is that? It was on Streamlabs. That kind of tip chart, if you will, or that tip list that went ahead and told you who were the top tippers, not cheerers, but the top tippers of the week. He abolished that, like, really quick. And by doing that, we'll never know how much money he's making behind the scenes, but it's very obvious that he does make money behind the scenes like that. There are people who go ahead and gift him money, and he never brings it up, because why would he? Because that kills the narrative of the stream itself. Until it was discovered, and then Phil immediately got rid of it, because maybe Phil didn't even know about it. Hence, which is another fundamental problem that Phil has, where you're going to start to use something new, and you're not going to take the next couple of days to really experiment with it and figure out how things work. If that was the case, that would have been hidden, and no one would have ever discovered it in the first place, unless you've used the program before. But if Phil doesn't have it there, they would probably have been like, oh, he just didn't enable it. You know what I'm saying? You could say that, oh, that feature was on default. That's what I'm thinking. Hence the reason why we were all able to see it at first. But, it doesn't even matter now. The point of it being, ladies and gentlemen, is he hides so much financially that you'll never know what he has and what he doesn't have. As I've said, it's all about, you guys are going to buy everything from now on. Period. From meals to games to points, you're going to buy everything. If you're a Phil fan, you better accept that. Because that's the only way it's going to go. Because Phil knows he's not going to be able to get day one views, or day one views aren't going to matter for him. So now that puts even more pressure on you in the fan base to get him these games as quickly as possible. He doesn't care about the day one views anymore, because he can't beat the practice of review copies and for promotional copies and stuff like that. He can't beat that practice. He can go ahead and talk all his pig shit about it all he wants, but he can't beat it. And because he can't beat it, and he can't participate in it, he's resided himself to just sitting back and waiting to whenever he gets to play the game. That's really all it comes down to. And he tried to use his legacy as leverage, saying, oh, this is the first time in 11 years I couldn't play a game. Not Borderlands. I think it was Dragon Quest Builders. Was that first release that he said that he couldn't afford. But I could be wrong. You guys can correct me in the comment section. But I think that was the first game he said he couldn't afford and he was disappointed with. But it doesn't matter, because it sounds like he's about to ditch that game too. Because he's starting to sound like he's forcing himself to play it. So it is what it is with that. But that's the scenario. You're gonna have to pay for everything from here on out. And you'll never get the full enjoyment out of watching Phil play it, because he's just treating it like another title. Hence the reason why he doesn't see a need to spend money on it. Or even the credits that I was just bringing up. He'll keep those credits for games he really wants to play. But for the rest of you, throw the money together to buy me this game that I don't really want to play. That's what it is now. That's what I think is always going to be. But that's neither here nor there.
But I bought a couple $100, and I just don't have it. I don't have the money or the credit to get the game. All right.
I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
Now the good news is, last night someone was very generous and gifted me $20 in PlayStation Network credit.
All right. So if you guys really want to see me play Borderlands 3 on Friday. All right, and you want to see this happen? If I get $46 more PlayStation Network credit today, I can get the game because that'll cover the cost of the game and the tax. All right. Oh my God, it's terrible. Give me the money. But that would have to happen today, so that I can get the game and download and everything and have it ready for Friday. Okay? So, that's the truth of the matter. If today, people are generous and we raise $46 in PlayStation Network credits, great. Then, I'll play Borderlands 3 starting on Friday.
This morning, I could have just ranted for about 20 minutes about stuff going on in my personal life that's driving me bonkers. But you guys don't need to hear that, right? You guys are here to have a fun gameplay stream. You don't need to hear about all the stress in my personal life. This is one of the major things that I've definitely changed over the years, is that I kind of matured and understand that you guys don't need to hear me bitch constantly.
What the hell does he mean over the years when it was only a month or two ago he was saying, not even a month, probably it was less than a month ago, when he said that he was in a real bad spot and that it was really affecting him. And by proxy, it was affecting Catherine, because he has all these bills and he has all these things behind the scenes, and him and Catherine can't go out and do the things that they want, so on and so forth. He harps about that at least once a month, but now he's talking about for years. But didn't Phil say that all of his financial troubles really started to become a thing in like 2016, 2017? Despite the fact that he's been basically harping about money since he moved to Washington State? Despite the fact that he was collecting donations back in like 2009, even though he was shitting on other people when they were getting donations? Huh. Whatever. Let's hear him out.
About a million things.
This shocks me. Wow.
And certainly I'm not trying to do that anymore, This stream I tried to just get right to business and not have to worry about me bitching about all kinds of shit going on behind the scenes, which is why I was late this morning to begin with, okay? That's a good thing, I think. I think you guys appreciate that. A lot of people have said it's better now. The streams have turned out to be a lot better now that it's not constantly about hearing about my personal problems and all that.
If that's the case, then where's the viewership? And where's the contributions? Because because ladies and gentlemen, if this is something that he's given up years ago, and if people think it's actually a better stream now, it's a better environment, he's really just coming in after the hour and a half, 2 hour pre-stream at times, right? And the begging sessions that are there. Which is, yet again, to be fair, he's saying that he's not talking about that during his gameplay streams, despite the fact that he says the contributions are low, and I really would appreciate the contributions, and please use this, and this, but mainly tip me because I really need the money. I know, that's semantics, I'm being an asshole now with that, but it's funny how he says that, the streams are getting better and people really appreciate it, but yet he doesn't have the money for Borderlands 3. Hence the reason why he needs the $46 to cover getting the game. And the taxes, by the way. Let's not forget the taxes. The taxes that Mr. Businessman over here has the nerve to go up and out of his own face and say, oh, well, hey, Phil, other people don't call tips. They call them donations. Why don't you do that? Oh, well, because they must be obviously cheating the system. They don't know how to do their taxes properly, and they're going to end up getting into a whole lot of trouble for that if they don't straighten up. Coming from the same idiot who fucked his own taxes up for 3 straight years, and is still trying to get himself from under it. Also the same idiot who told us that he hasn't paid federal taxes in at least 2 years. But we're going to go ahead and shit on other people in their tax issues, right? Or potential tax issues. People he doesn't watch, by the way.
That shit. And I'm okay with that. I think that makes sense. I just come here to relax and have a good time with you guys. I'm not here to bitch and moan and share about all kinds of crap. That being said, that's why I don't allow argumentative topics like politics and religion on my streams, because it's just going to create drama, right? That's why I'm not going to sit here and talk about detractors and stupid shit constantly. Who cares? I'm here to put out a fun gameplay stream and hang out with you guys. That's the attitude that we employ here on the streams. That's why I'm not going to take the bait when it comes to certain contributions.
Now, I'm sorry. He said something that just kind of got me thinking. With the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics, would you equate that whole situation there to that of religion and politics? I guess if you broke things down from a situation type situation, maybe one would. Let me not give that too much thought at the moment. But yeah, I might be overthinking it. But it's probably an interesting topic, though. I should write that down. All right, here we go.
People saying certain things to try to rile me up or get me angry or get me otherwise upset or talk about topics that are going to end up being stuff that's going to cause problems or whatever. You know, that's why. So understand that I don't have any obligation whatsoever to say or do anything on my streams. You know, if you contribute, thank you, but I have no obligation to respond to it, especially if I feel that what you're saying or doing is going to actually derail my stream. I'm not going to talk about it. There are some people who seem to think there's some kind of an unwritten contract that if they contribute, I have to give a shout out. It's not true. I do go out of my way to try to give a shout out to every contribution. But then there's some people who literally will contribute just to try to insult me or try to get a rise out of me. And then if I don't bite, then they try to get me later. There's a few people recently who tried to charge me back on tips. They completely failed. They did not succeed whatsoever.
Most of the tips that I get...
But see, no one believes him on that. I don't believe him. I think there are certain chargebacks that he said he won and he really didn't. The biggest thing, it's first off, it's a deterrent, what he's trying to say there. Which is the whole reason why he's throwing out the caveat that, oh, if you talk about anything as it pertains to religion or politics and then equates that as into detractor talk, like, oh, the detractors kind of fall into that naughty zone of talking topics. I'm going to completely ignore all that because I don't want to do anything to derail my streams, despite the fact that he derails his streams on his own. I don't care what anybody has to say about that. He's derailing his own streams by focusing on what is said in the chat. That's his dumbass fault, nobody else's. Now, when he's throwing all of this out as part of the criteria that, hey, don't say any of these things because if not, I'm not going to acknowledge you. And don't bother trying to charge back because you're going to lose. But if any of you follow Wings, he gets charged back all the time. And he knows it. He just accepts it. But yet DSP wins every single one? No. DSP has lost plenty. Here's my thing now. Now that some time has gone on and so on and so forth. I need to talk to Agent Proper and Declan Reed about it a little further. But something's telling me as time is going on, I at first I said when it came to the whole... My bad, I'm jumping around a little bit. Initially, with the King Tut situation, I said Phil lost. Or at least I thought that Phil lost. Then I was starting to think, well, maybe he broke even. And they both walked away with their... You know, Phil walked away with the money, but then Tut was able to get all of his money back. I'm starting to kind of lean towards the fact that maybe Phil did lose altogether. Hence the reason why he has that negative attitude towards Tut. And why he persisted shitting on Tut for months after the fact. It was different with Mort. Mort sat there and did that $112, $120 plus dollars, whatever it was, in chargebacks. And whether he won or lost, we don't know. Phil said he won all of it, despite the fact that he had to give up an evening stream to fight all of that, which is hilarious. If anything, Mort probably got his money's worth out of that, maybe. But something about that Tut situation is making me think that he didn't win. He lost. He lost that whole situation, and that's why he's still mad about it. Because not only did he lose the money, but it made him vulnerable. It made him vulnerable. It's a telltale fact now that Tut's probably going around telling all the detractors that, hey, this is what happened. This is how I did this. This is how you can get him. I'm not saying Tut did that, but I'm just throwing that out there. Consider it as an assumption, a theory. Not a Theo theory, but a theory. And so that's why Phil retaliated by dropping King Tut's docs in his mod chat as retaliation. Something to think about.
I don't get that. A lot of the tips don't go through. That's happened a lot where it says there's a tip and then I look and it's gone. For whatever reason, the bank declined it or whatever. It sucks, but, you know... It sucks when it doesn't go through.
Because I won the case with PayPal, like I always do. But these idiots constantly try to do shit against me, and it's just laughable, okay? So, please understand that. If you do contribute, I'm incredibly appreciative. It helps out a lot. That's why I'm still here. But understand that what I do and say on my streams is ultimately under my control, and we try to maintain a certain vibe, and that's why I may not always respond to everything.
That being said, guys, the one way that you can help me out today, contributions-wise, that helps more than anything, is by tipping me. Give me money, money.
Now, my main man tipped another $1 and said apparently there's a whole troll level dedicated to me in Hitman 47, where apparently, people are trying to take me out. I'm the target, because they're saying I stole money from patrons, and I'm in a jacuzzi with women and stuff. Really stupid.
Oh my God. Try to do this a little bit. Oh God!
It's stupid to be in a jacuzzi with beautiful women? I didn't know that. That must be new. Is that some type of form of pignosis? That's weird. But then again, Phil does have this strange fascination about sticking things up men's asses. So I guess that feeds into his narrative? Maybe? I don't know.
I'm not surprised. I would actually think that there's a lot more stuff like that all over the internet. Like, you know, trolling kind of levels and stuff in video games and stuff. All the user-created content. Probably a million Little Big Planet levels and shit that are, you know, Mario Maker levels that just shit all over me. I'm sure there are. But anyway, thank you for the tip.
But I became virally popular for being the guy. Lad bro tipped me $1, said hint hint, donate Borderlands 3 to me. No hint hint. If people want me to play Borderlands 3, I need to raise $46 in PlayStation Network credits today. There's no hint hint, underhanded anything. That is nasty.
There you go. Proof positive. From now on, this is how it's going to work. Now, Phil is smart enough, and I know that might seem like I'm giving him a little too much credit, but bear with me on this. He's smart enough to realize that he can't do that with every single game. So the games that he really wants, he now has all the credits that he's hoarded up over months, so he's guaranteed to get those games. Unless he can convince people to get him the special editions or any DLC. Then there's that. But outside of that, everybody else, you're going to pay for everything out of pocket. All the money that he's been given in credits, he's going to sit on that. He's going to hoard it just to make sure that all the big releases that he wants to play, keyword, all the big key phrase, all the big releases that he really wants to play, or games that he really wants to play, he'll always have the money for that. But for everything else, you guys are paying for it. He's stockpiling credits, and I think he's been doing that since the beginning. So this is where the scenarios are going to come about. You have to try to. You don't have to do anything, actually. Just let me do it. But that's what you have detractors and critics for. You don't have to do a damn thing. Just take that into consideration. If I ask you for anything, please take that into consideration.
That's the situation. I've said it outright, okay? I'm actually very happy that someone was very generous last night and donated the $20 credit to get us going. Now, you got 46 more to go, and then I can get it for Friday. If not, again, doesn't matter. There's many other things I could play. You know? No, like I said, to me, either way, I would be happy. I would be happy playing Borderlands 3 on Friday. I would be happy not playing it and doing other stuff. I'm okay either way, so. Ladbro tipped another $1, says you've ruled out certain emotes. What about burp, fart, and phlegm emotes? Well, let's see.
Oh!
Let me put it this way. A burp emote would be a little gross, but I think that would be, like, okay, because I do tend to burp during streams. Fart would be really stupid, because I don't think, I mean, I'll be honest, yeah, I farted during streams, but first of all, I don't think you guys even hear it.
That's disgusting! Oh my God! Ah!
I don't think I've rarely ever seen anyone even address it in a stream chat. If I do fart, I don't see people saying, wow, Phil ripped a big ripe one. I don't ever see that. I don't think you guys can hear it because of the setup I have here. So I think that would be stupid. Phlegm, I mean, yeah, it's disgusting when I have to clear my throat, and I do have to do it every once in a while, but I don't think a phlegm emote, I don't think people would really, I think, a burp emote, maybe, I would say. A burp emote, I think I would be on board with, you know? But outside of that, I don't know if you guys want to see me, why not just do a fucking 360 spinning vomit emote? Right?
It doesn't even have to be that. You could just say passing gas or whatever, or pig shit, some shit like that. And as Snort Burnell has brought up, people have called him out for shitting on, or he's definitely shitted on the streams. But actually, no, I think about it, he definitely has shitted on the stream, because when he goes, I gotta take a bathroom break, I gotta go and take a shit real fast. I'll be right back. That's him literally shitting on the stream. The stream, he didn't turn the stream off. He's still he's playing some music while he's dropping a nasty one. So I guess that is a thing. But he might as well go along with that, but people have been calling him out on it. So he doesn't want to go with that. The phlegm, which is disgusting in itself, people have been calling him out on that too. And he doesn't want it, so he definitely doesn't want to use that. He does not want that being used against him, despite the fact that he does it. Which is funny, because I thought he was supposed to be weaponizing it and taking it and triggering the libs own the libs. But in actuality, he's still very self-conscious. So it's like we do it with certain things, but we don't do it with other things. How does that make sense? And even the memes that he has turned into emotes, he still, you could tell when he looks at the chat and he sees that they're being spammed, he feels a certain type of way about it. He's trying very, very hard to hold it together. This mental gymnastics that he's going through is preposterous. I swear, he's slowly killing himself doing it like this. It's not worth it. It's really not. We know almost all of Phil's triggers. Almost all of them. Almost. And that he has new ones that sprout up every day. You can't win this. If I could say anything to DSP right now, you're not winning. Yes, you're making money doing this. Obviously, you're not broke, I would have to say. Because it's funny how Mr. I don't have the money to do this, I don't have the money to do this, I don't have the money to do this still shows up every day and does the same shit. Over and over and over again. He still has money to play games. The lights are still on. Jasper isn't going hungry, at least as far as we know. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still able to function despite the fact that he says he's on the brink of losing everything. Anyway, something to think about. But he's not going to win this. It's a war of attrition that you lost years ago. And the only person who's really... The only real casualties of this is your fan base. That's it. This is literally like... It's starting to... It's not there yet. But it's almost like right before Berlin fell. That's exactly what this is. This is Central Gautopia literally on its last leg. And he's trying very, very hard not to get too much attention drawn to him so he can still function and operate. But in actuality, he's surrounded on all sides. And he can't go anywhere. And he knows it. Twitch is literally his last stand. Oh, hurtful. So hurtful. What will internet historians write about Phil 10 years from now? I'm just going to pose that question to all of you in the comment section. I wonder. I really do. DSP News?
Why not? Why not do... Or how about this? Everyone remembers my 360 shit story. Why don't we do a 360 shit emo? Where, you know, a fucking restroom stall's covered, the wall's covered in liquid shit. Why not? That sounds like a fun thing to have on the stream, right? No. Maybe the burp emote. That's about it. Okay? What the fuck, man? Philly Buckeye Cheers says, can I buy a V8 Mustang with my Penne points? I don't know. You have to ask Wings of Redemption about that. Actually, I think you can only buy a rebuilt, a rebuilt Mustang with the Penne points. Here we go. Embracing the stupid memes that people bring to my channel. Yeah, you can only build... But those, what are they called?
So you'll embrace the Wings memes, but you won't embrace your own. And he was really reluctant about, anything that had to do with LTG, or Low Tier God. Oh my. Oh boy, that's rather hypocritical to say the very least. Go ahead and, yet again, Phil Burnell, shitting on everybody else as long as it's not him.
Salvaged, rebuilt Mustang with the Penne points. I'm sorry, guys. That's all you can get. You can't get a new car. Anyway. Alright. Salvage title. Is that the official meme? Salvage title Mustang? Is that the official meme? Okay, it's a salvaged title. Gotcha. See, I don't...
Wait, now isn't this the same guy who says that he doesn't actually want Wings to be talked about on his streams, but now he's okay with it because it's shitting on him? And Wings... You know what, Wings? Shit. And to Wings' credit, Wings has no negative attitude towards Phil. He really looks at Phil as a brother in arms. He really does. He looks at Wings, or Jordy, looks at Phil as someone who has gone through the shitstorm for much longer, right? And Phil's older than him too, so Phil kind of, you could say, one could make the argument that Wings, as it pertains to this whole Detractor troll shit, looks at Phil as an older brother. This is someone who's been going through this for 2 years, and he needs advice, and he wants a bit of camaraderie with someone who's gone through it. So Jordy looks at Wings, Jordy, my bad, looks at Wings, that's hilarious. Jordy looks at Phil as someone who's gone through the shitstorm, and he's not winning, but you could say he's still pushing forward. And he would appreciate a little bit of advice. He would appreciate some understanding. He has someone who he has some camaraderie with. Someone who kind of understands the struggles. And Phil is so threatened, so resentful, and so bitter that he won't even give this guy the time of day over some bullshit podcast that happened years ago that you lied to these individuals and said you were going to go on and you didn't, right? So, Phil, you were the one who basically screwed that situation up for yourself. That's not Jordy. That's not Jive Turkey. That's not White Boy 7th Street. That's not Eddie's fault. That was you. You said you were going to go on that podcast. You decided not to. You fucked them over, kind of, sort of. Not really. They kind of just went whatever with it. And if some of those guys pop shots at you, they did. If they didn't, they didn't. Most of this shit Phil makes up in his head anyway. But you have someone who's in a real bad spot and just would appreciate a moment of your time, and you won't give that to him because it's almost like you think by depriving him it hurts him, when Wings, no matter what's, going to keep doing what he's got to do because he has no choice, a lot like yourself. But you would think Phil would want somebody around him who understands some of the strife, some of the trials and tribulations. And now look at him. He's sitting here shitting on Wings, and Wings has never done anything to deserve any of this. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that. I guess in a way I am kind of defending Jordy on this because Wings has never stepped up out of his face to purposely shit on Phil. He's never done that. You know what I'm saying? Or as far as I've watched, I should say. I won't say never. But he's never done that. Or as far as I've seen, he's never really done that. So what's the point of this? When with all the changes that Wings has or Jordy has been doing over the last maybe year or so, he's slowly but surely elevating above you. If you think about it, the interest in Wings is starting to build up and has been for a while, to the point where though people acknowledge he's definitely a shithead, for sure. He's definitely done some really fucked up stuff. People can kind of empathize with him a little bit because Wings or Jordy is vulnerable. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he shows that vulnerability quite a bit. You know what I mean? And which you see with DSP a lot. He tries to play the tough guy angle. He does it terribly, just as Jordy did. But DSP tries to play the tough guy shit, and it don't work. But he wants to keep playing the tough guy shit because he thinks being weak is a bad thing. Or he thinks being vulnerable. Let me reword it. He thinks being vulnerable is a bad thing. Whereas that's all really Jordy knows. Yeah, Jordy will play his tough guy shit every once in a while because he wants to keep his confidence up. But outside of that, at the end of the day, he's going to crumble. And after a while, it's only funny for so long watching Jordy crumble because you already know what's going to happen. You know he's going to crumble. You know he's going to falter. But with Phil, though, when Phil trips and falls and stumbles and looks like the Wile E. Coyote rolling downhill, that shit is fucking amusing because he does that to other people. He laughs and points at other people when they're at their lowest point. So when it happens to him, he gets mad that people make light of it. But he doesn't mind doing it to other people. But when it happens to him, oh my God, he's the victim. We should all feel bad for him. It's things like that that makes Phil's failures so appealing and so interesting and so entertaining. But anyway, that's just my thought process on it.
I don't know these memes. I don't fucking follow these people. You guys come in here with these memes. I don't even understand them half the time. Who here drives a brand new Ford Raptor? That's another meme. What's this Ford? Okay, before we continue, I want to know, what does this Ford Raptor mean? I want to know, because people bring this up in the chat all the time. I don't know what the fuck this is. What is this Ford Raptor meme? I demand to know immediately. I want a full explanation of the Ford Raptor meme, or we're not starting the game. That's it. I'm holding.
How do you not know? How do you know what the whole rebuilt salvage Mustang, but you don't know about the Ford Raptor? And the Raptor's been around longer than the Mustang meme, if you will. Like, it's stuff like this. It's petty subterfuge like this is the reason why Phil gets shitted on. Like, you're blatantly lying to these people. You're on Kiwi Farms. You've been to the Wings thread. You know how all this works. And there's, yet again, just like with their audience in a lot of ways, there's overlap on Kiwi Farms too. So Phil knows all that shit. He knows how close him and Wings are flown up to the sun. You guys know how this all works out.
The stream hostage until we figure this out. A truck. I know it's a truck. People just told me it's like a pickup truck or something. A Ford Raptor. But what is it? Wings has one. Okay. A fancy truck made for traveling on dunes. What? Traveling on dunes. Wings of Redemption begs for donations to buy a Ford Raptor. Okay. See, I don't know. Here's the thing. I know you guys probably say horrible things about me on other people's streams too, so I never know to believe anything you guys tell me about this shit. Like, I'm sure people on other streams...
Wait, so you're going to ask these people to explain memes to you, and then you're going to say to these people's faces that I know you guys talk shit about me and say horrible things about me to other people's streams, on other people's streams, I should say. And so I shouldn't really trust you, but yet you're still taking their word at face value. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, if you want to go into a little bit of piggy lore, that right there is a shot at Third Eye the Third. When Third Eye went over there and told Ninja what DSP had said, about him. That's what that shot was. Which why he's still taking shots at Third Eye still makes no sense to me, especially given all the things Third Eye did for him.
Oh, Phil begs on stream to buy a ship to go to the Cayman Islands or something stupid like that, which is bullshit. So I don't actually know if what you guys say about these other streamers is true or not. You know, I have no idea.
There you go. Sack the Jacks. The same guys making fun of Wings make fun of you in Wings chat. What do they say about me in Wings chat? By the way, I'm not insulted. I'm not taking any of this to heart. I'm just having a lighthearted conversation with you guys this morning. Since you guys already bombard me with so many fucking memes that I don't understand them.
Yet again, isn't this bullshit? Don't talk about religion. Don't talk about politics. Don't talk about detractors and trolls and critics and shit. But yet, tell me about somebody else's problems who are dealing with the exact same shit on their end. And I'll let you guys tie it into my shit a little bit, as long as the focus is shitting on them. Alright. And if you think about it too, this is Twitch politics. This is lol-cow religion that we're talking about here. But yet, as long as he's not the main focus, as long as he's not the anti-pope for today, he's okay with it. Fuck out of here.
I'd like to maybe get a little bit of understanding here, right?
What? Pro PC Gamers is a few years...
Like Phil has cared anything about understanding, right?
Years ago, they made up a story about Phil that I moved to Ethiopia. What? What? Lol.
Cliffy Bureau just did a 5-sub bomb. Congrats to those who just got a random sub. It's bum bum smelly yum yum. What the fuck? Bum bum smelly yum yum was just gifted a sub.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. For a second, I thought that was Snort Burnell that had his laugh on loop. That's what I thought. I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, damn, I never really thought about doing it like that. Oh, that really is Phil laughing. Aw. Rip.
Oh my god. Okay. Also, Palm Primus, Leaned Fraga, Alucard 177, and Divin Erasmus all received gifted subs from Cliffy Bureau. But I'm sure Bum Bum Smelly Yum Yum will make the most out of it. He seems like that kind of person. He just said thank you very much in the stream chat. Oh my god. Philly Buckeye just cheered, and he says, the meme is that Wings took some of his surgery money and bought a Ford Raptor, which is a truck that is like $70,000.
He never bought a Ford Raptor. Theoretically, I mean, if you want to go about it, I think, this is what I think. He took some of that surgery money to buy that salvage title Mustang, but he didn't buy a Ford Raptor. So, just saying. Just throwing that out there.
Oh my god. See, I shouldn't, I've opened the can of worms. Surgery money? I don't even know about any of this. He had surgery, money he raised for surgery, and now people think that he spent it on a truck? Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't even know. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll just say this up front. I've always said this, and I'll say it again. Any money that I raise on my streams goes exactly to what I tell you guys it's for. I know that a lot of people lie about me, and they say that, oh, Phil raises money for taxes, but then he goes and he went on a trip. No, I didn't pay for anything during that trip. My parents really did. All that money went to taxes, you know. When I do these things to raise funds, they...
And you think that makes it any better? That a 37-year-old needed mommy and daddy to fly him and his fiancée out to get married, gave them a shitload of pocket money, paid for his taxes, and then sent their asses home, and then still continues to send him money on a monthly basis? and you think that makes you look any better. Oh, wow.
Go towards what I'm telling you. I swear to you that every dollar I've raised in tips has been going towards my bank account. I swear to you. You know, that's the kind of person I am. I'm upfront and honest guy. And if anything in my life, the one thing I absolutely hate is dishonesty.
No, he hates dishonesty when it's focused towards him. He doesn't like it when people lie to him. But he can throw out all the lying he wants because it protects him, it protects his family, consisting of his wife and his cat. Because, let's be honest, as long as his parents keep writing checks off, he doesn't really give a shit about any of that. Plus, we got a cousin out there in the wings who, oh, well, she had an addiction, so I don't give a shit about her. Right, Phil? So let's be perfectly honest. He lies to you guys all the time, and he tells you that because he needed to do it to protect his family or to protect himself. But now all of a sudden he's truthful and he hates dishonesty. Get the fuck out of here.
You know, and so many people in my life have been dishonest with me that for me to be dishonest with you would actually be hurtful to me. All right?
Why would I believe you?
Wait. Snort Burnell, I have to step in for a minute. As a friend of Tyrone's, dinner was prepared. It just wasn't meant for Phil. It was meant for Leanna and Tyrone. Yeah, she cooked it at the house. Yeah, she left the dirty dishes in the sink for him. And yes, she took away the good Tupperware that Phil would normally put his disgusting Kool-Aid Kool-Aid pasta sauce in. But dinner was prepared. It was certainly made, and it was certainly consumed. It just wasn't by Phil. But then again, maybe that's what Snort Burnell meant the whole time. So got big brain stuff going on right now.
You about anything. When you lied about being engaged, you lied about the wedding, you lied about the cat. So how can I believe anything you say? Then don't.
So just understand that, all right?
That sounds like an honest person to me. That sounds like an honest person to me.
By the way, I'm sure there will be people who just don't trust me anyway, and what can you do? But when I do these things on stream, just so you guys know, I'm always being truthful with you. If I'm raising funds or whatever, they're going exactly towards what I'm telling you about, without question. That's how I am. So please know that, because I know a lot.
I like that key. I like the key wording in there. Without question. I like that. That's real good stuff, Phil. Because obviously, whenever Phil says something, you should take it all at face value and never question it, ever. You know what I'm saying? Ever. You should never come out of your face and think that Phil would ever lie. At all. And even if you think he is, even if you have that itch that he is doing it, don't ever say anything. Don't even whisper it. Don't even think it.
A lot of people out there would accuse people of doing shit. And a lot of people out there would, oh my god, so here you go. So Vote Democrat just cheered, 111 bits, and he says, he took $25,000 in surgery donations. That's crazy that he even raised that much. And went to Mexico for a cheaper surgery. He then took the other $19,000 and bought a new car, a new iPhone, and barrels of chili. That's why he gets trolled.
Hey, Wings' grandmother makes really good chili. Don't hate on that. Don't hate on that shit. She makes really good chili. Even though Wings basically has Wendy's on speed dial for their chili. It's a thing.
That was good.
Okay then. Wow. Alright. If right now, if I were to make $25,000.
Now here's the thing. If Wings did this exact same thing on his stream, as it pertains to Phil would be pissed. He'd be fucking pissed off. He'd be like, who the hell is he to go ahead and talk about me on his stream? That's bullshit. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know nothing that I've gone through. If the piggy stalking was on the other foot, right? If it was on the other drumstick, he'd be mad as hell right now. He'd be mad as shit right now if this was the case. Wow.
Right? The first thing I would immediately do...
Begging for money, okay? I need subs, send me donations and subs.
...is put aside what I need for taxes from that, and then I would pay the taxes that I owe that I haven't been able to fucking pay. That's the first thing I would do. Then I would take the rest of the money and immediately put it into a savings account to have money to fall back on because of all the problems I've been having with everything recently, financially. Like,
he made almost half that during the Emerald 7 situation. Did he do that? Think about it.
That's the first thing I would think about doing. Like, I haven't actually, like, bought anything for myself in so long. It's pretty crazy because Kat, right, says she looks at me, she's like, wow, like all the clothes you got and everything are old. And you know, and I'm like, yeah.
See, this right here is classic sociopath type shit. But let's hear him out though. Let's go ahead and hear the sob story. Snort Burnell has already given us amazing music to go along with it, so let's go ahead and play this out.
That's the situation I'm in. Like, I don't even feel like I could spend $1 going out and buying myself a new pair of fucking pants or whatever, because the situation I'm in, you know, I can't be spending money on that. You know, I'm in so much debt that, to me, even going out and buying something that normally a normal person would just say, oh, this is just a little thing, it's okay, do something nice for yourself. I don't even do that stuff, right?
Oh, woe is me, I'm the victim complex guy.
You know, so to even fathom running out and buying a car with money that someone donated, that's insane. Now, again, I don't know if any of this is true, and I'm not commenting on it. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, that idea would be something would be going through my mind and just, like, blow my fucking mind that someone would even be that dishonest, you know? Pretty fucked up. Anyway, my main man, tipped me $1, as you just said 5 minutes ago, we don't bring up detractors, but other streamers, yet you talk about them daily. No, it's just you talk about them willy-nilly. You contradicted yourself. So now we can do whatever we want. No. Listen, if we have a segment where I'm like, let's just talk about this so I can get a little bit more understanding of the things that people are talking about on my streams. Great. At least now I understand what's going on. When people bring up these memes, I'm not even kidding, the last 10 minutes, now I understand like 10 memes. I understand the surgery meme, I understand the fourth.
Okay, if that's the case, then why won't you bring up detractor content and address some of that situation so your fan base can get an understanding? So your fan base doesn't have the doubt, right? So your fan base doesn't have this doubt, right? So they can believe in the pignosis some more, right? And more importantly, you have a better understanding of what detractors are saying about you. See, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting into some big brain shit here, because this is where the gout, the doubt, and the snout all falls into play. This is the trifecta that I've just gone ahead and presented to you. If he would go over detractor content, if he would at least address some of it, you know what I mean? If he went ahead and addressed the Snort Burnell videos, the Mighty D videos, the Mrhuth Stuff videos, you know what I mean? If he would address some of these things, then this is what he would do for the fan base. It's not going to benefit him as a whole at all, because then he has to kind of fight against his own words, which is the reason why he doesn't want to do it in the first place. But if he attempted to do that for, I don't know, a retrospective stream, for example, maybe, just maybe, he might be able to he could reaffirm his piggy psychosis over them. But he won't do it, because how does a man or a woman face up to their own lie? How do you do that? You can only throw day-old pig grease at it for so long. Eventually, people are going to smarten up to it, and that's what scares them.
Rap for meme, I understand.
But it's all about the understanding, right?
Mustang meme, and I understand. What was the other meme? I think we just covered 4 memes that now I understand when people bring them up in the stream chat. At least I know what people are talking about, right? So there you go. All right. So it's okay to bring it up when I'm talking about it. It's not okay to come and try to derail my streams completely by spamming memes of outside people who I don't even understand, okay? That's different. Like anything, it takes common sense and it takes moderation, but you have to understand those things. And most people who are idiots on the internet don't have common sense and don't know how to do things in moderation. That's the problem, you know?
Here comes the dictatorship.
Oh, we're having a little pertinent conversation about it? Let's do it. Oh, Phil's playing Control for 2 hours, let's continue to spam Wings memes? No, that's stupid, but you have to have common sense to understand that, right? Do you want to play the fucking game?
2 quick reminders. If you're interested in seeing me play Borderlands 3 this weekend, please consider gifting some PlayStation Network credits. I need about $46 more of PlayStation Network credits in order to afford the game.
The other thing, if you're going to contribute today, please tip me. Tipping me is going to get me out of the bad financial situation I'm in. It's helped a ton this past week, so thanks to those who have helped, and please consider tipping me if you want to help the most, okay? Here we go. My main man tipped me another $1, says, but Howard said you bought a BMW with Patreon money. You're one to talk.
Okay, I'm going to ignore the garbage shears that are just trying to bait me into stuff. I'm not stupid. I'm good at lying.
What on earth does that even mean? I got a BMW before I even had a Patreon. I want you to think about that. I opened up my Patreon in 2015, alright? When I already was here, living in Connecticut, living in Washington, And I already had the BMW way before that. I got it years before that when I was making tons of money on YouTube. I opened the Patreon when the YouTube money dipped. How could I have bought a...
That's not true. He opened up the Patreon after he left Twitch the first time. And he used that as supplemental income. At least I think, anyway.
BMW with Patreon money. You can't. And that's what I mean. This is the insanity of what some people say about me.
Wait, he actually kind of... Wait a second. He kind of contradicted himself because he said when YouTube money dipped... But he... Nah, he's trying to tie that into some troll shit. Don't worry, that'll be pertinent later on in this broadcast.
The rank stupidity. And I hate to say it, Howard's one of them who drinks the fucking Kool-Aid, I guess. How could you even believe that? Just factually. Reading the timeline, it doesn't even make any fucking sense. How did I get a BMW with Patreon money when I didn't open a Patreon until 2015? And I had the BMW since, what, 2012? You'd have to be a fucking brainless moron to believe it. Oops. What can you say, right? I don't know. How dumb can you be? Two Bar King says it's the same for wings, really? See? That's what I mean. Like, that's why when people come in here with memes and negative things to say about other streamers, I don't really believe it. I guarantee you, all the things say about wings aren't true. Maybe they have a grain of truth to them. Maybe they do. Maybe there actually is some truth to them. But I guarantee you the things that have become the popular memes about him aren't true. That's why I'm not going to sit here and shit on someone or whatever. Because that's, you know, it's absolutely ridiculous. I guarantee you it's all been spun, in a way, you know? In a way that makes him look horrible or whatever, right? Sack the Jack, what I just said is I can't believe anyone would be this dishonest. I didn't say he would be that dishonest. Again, I don't believe it. I don't believe that stuff. I've seen no evidence of anything. All I'm hearing is hearsay from you guys. And you know, it's good to understand the memes, okay, that people are saying. Doesn't mean that the memes are true. There's tons of memes about me that aren't true. I don't believe that shit just because someone says it in a fucking meme. I'm not stupid. Combat says if you looked into it more, not that you would, you can make a judgment for yourself. You're right, Combat. I wouldn't. Here's why. I don't care. I don't care. The reason I care... I
don't care, but I had a 15-minute segment, almost 20, because I wanted you guys to help decipher memes. Memes. Phil would have an opportunity to go through and actually, if he was going to, not that he'd be able to do it well because he can't really defend himself, but he could actually look into the situation because he's already on Kiwi Farms, and and actually see what's true and what isn't. So whenever someone spams Wings memes on his streams, hey, this is what really happened. This is the real story. You need to stop this, or I'm going to ban you. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't care. But yeah, we have a 20-minute segment just on memes, on Wings memes, by the way. But he doesn't care though. None of it's pertinent. Why would he waste his time doing it? He would just rather waste 20 minutes of all of these people's time so he can get a cheap laugh out of it. And understand the memes. Trigger the libs, own the libs.
About the memes is because you guys repeat them in my stream chat constantly, right? That's the only reason I even give a crap about it and I want to know what the hell you're talking about. When you say, oh, salvage title Mustang, V6 versus V8 engine, Ford Raptor, Mexican surgery, blah, blah, blah. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. But you repeat it so much, I gotta eventually say, well, what the fuck are you talking about? So at least you have a frame of reference of what you're talking about, right, dude? So, you know, that's why I even know who the guy is. Because of you guys over the years. I don't know. I wouldn't give I wouldn't take two petrified dog turds and rub them together to get a piece of information about Wings or about another streamer. I don't care. That's not a negative thing about Wings. I'm just saying I just don't care. I've always been a man of myself. I'm here to put out content and enjoy myself and have fun with games, and you guys enjoy that, and we have fun conversations along the way, and that's all I care about. I don't care about other streamers doing dramatic shit and you guys spinning memes and shit. But when you guys are constantly repeating this stuff in the chat, I'm like, well, what the hell does it mean? Right? And that's what I try to figure out. So. Guy Dodd, to me $1, says someone made a WWE simulation match with you, Wings, LTG, and Ninja, complete with phrases. Sad to say you lost. Wings won.
What?
Okay. Very exciting to know that. I told you, I'm sure people have done millions of things with me over the years. Are you kidding me? I'm sure. See, Buka 2020 says, don't play Control, just do memes all day. Oh, great. The meme stream. Now, that would be interesting. A stream where I only address other people's memes and try to understand them. Dude, that would be a hell of a stream. That would probably, like, blow my fucking mind. Trying to understand memes of other streamers. I'd be like, what? Oh my god. Now, that would be like going into the disgusting, dirty toilet of the internet, huh? I'd be the next Pewds. Is that what PewDiePie does now? He doesn't play games. He just fucking talks about stupid memes. Great. Sounds like meaningful content to me. Alright, let's end the pre-stream. Let's get started. Here we go, guys. Oh my god. Sounds like meaningful content. Sounds like something I would want to do all day. Just talk about drama and memes. Yeah, why not? Why play games and have fun? Why try to contribute anything that would be, like, entertaining to society? Let's just talk about fucking garbage, right? Why not?
Oh, the camera's on.
Cue the Seinfeld.
I'll be off tomorrow, but I have some great news regarding Friday. Thanks to generous fans, I was gifted enough PlayStation Network credit to get Borderlands 3 for Friday. I have it. So I'm playing Borderlands 3 on Friday. Thank you, you fucking worthless humans.
It is the first stream that I'll be doing on Friday. 4 hours of Borderlands 3, and then on Friday night, I'll be playing the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta. So 2 new things on Friday, Borderlands 3 and then the Modern Warfare beta. I'll be doing exactly the same thing on Saturday. Tonight, guys, if you really want to help me out, please tip me. The stream that I did earlier of Control, which was the conclusion of Control, by the way, I finished the game, was incredibly slow, very low contributions, and I was trying to, raise tips to get my bank account out of the overdrawn status, and it did not do very well with that first stream. So tonight, if you guys could contribute via tipping, I would appreciate that. It would help me more than anything.
Give me your money. Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's
I guess one was surmised. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and go into the next video of our broadcast. I'll see you guys in just a second.
gone.
This is how I play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. And I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
Hello, everybody.
Interesting way of starting that one off. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here yet again with Snort Burnell, DSP. You must make my streams fun and entertaining. And again, in the red after the day off. Oh, again in the red after the day off. Oh boy. Oh boy. But remember, Phil doesn't spend anything on his day off. No money is to be had. You heard it in the last broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't even have enough money to buy himself a pair of decent pants. Not at all. It's horrible. It's terrible. But we're gonna laugh at it anyway. So here we go.
Excuse me, what is going on? Hello, welcome back, everyone.
Yesterday was actually one of the most stressful days off that I've had in recent memory. Basically, Kat and I spent the entire day running around doing things that were like important errands, appointments, all kinds of stuff. Barely had any time to ourselves to even like do anything fun together. It was more just like work, and it sucked. I'm just gonna be honest, it sucked, okay? But that's life sometimes when you're an adult, and I only get this one day off a week, so I have to take the opportunity to do all the shit that I need to do in one day. Now, I'm gonna be very honest with all of you. If you've ever played a Borderlands...
Now, like I said, he's got appointments and whatnot. I mean, are you finally getting your car serviced? Is Kat getting serviced? Well, we know Catherine's getting serviced, but is Catherine at the doctor to find out the results of that service? Or servicing? What's the situation, Phil? Go ahead. We all know you need the money, so you're gonna have to talk about it eventually.
Game, it's a ton of looting and shooting. Yes, there's plot, don't get me wrong, that's good, but there's a ridiculous amount of looting and shooting in the game, and it could
also, I'd like to point out, he said that, I have to do this adult stuff on my one day off. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just my own personal opinion. The morning streams are garbage, utter trash, and the night streams are probably the only thing that's really carrying the the SS gout at the moment. He doesn't need to stream 6 days. Less is more in his situation. He needs to go back to streaming only 5 days. Maybe he should only stream 4 days, to be honest. There's 2 guaranteed days with Catherine, and then that's 1 day to catch up on WWE so he has something to talk about when he comes back onto the streams. Something. Or take a day off with Catherine and take another day off where she's still at work. So, and whatnot. But he needs to do something. Streaming 6 days isn't helping him. It never really did. And he's only wasting time. And he's yet again, he's saturating the market, right? With content that people don't need and don't want. It's YouTube literally all over again. Him working and the keyword is working, 6 days a week in air quotes, is the equivalent of spamming 30 videos on your channel every day. Just my opinion, of course.
Pretty much a lot of grinding style combat. It's not going to be the most riveting thing possible to my viewing audience. I just know it's not. Not every moment of me playing Borderlands 3 is going to be very exciting. In fact, there may be long stretches where it's just me doing combat, and you're like, uh-oh, this game doesn't appeal to a viewing audience. Well, guess what? It does if you guys work with me and turn it into an interactive stream.
Well, wait for people to talk to me.
Wait. This isn't entertaining. This isn't very good. I don't like this. Oh, well, you need to work with me. You need to bring your expectations down. You need to bring your standards down, and then it works. Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious right now? Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about one of my favorite things. I guess there's a lot of things I like as I guess pertaining to what I do, I guess, online. But let's talk about SnortBucks coffee. SnortBucks. I love SnortBucks. You guys all know this. Just imagine if Chio and her husband came into the coffee shop, and I made them a caramel snort latte with extra sea salt over the caramel at the top. They had it the first time. It's okay. It's pretty good. Second and third time, I decided to tweak the recipe a little bit, and they're like, The first time it was great, GTG. I wish you hadn't changed it. I don't know who you have in the back who messed it all up. You know what I'm saying? Kenny, Kevin, is Asian GTG even around anymore? I don't know. We don't know who did it and who messed this all up. Not to say that's completely messed up, but maybe you should consider going back to the original recipe. Or maybe you should consider just going about it a different way. You have a multitude of drinks already on the menu. Just keep it simple. Just go back to the way it was. Okay, so let's say after the second and third time, that's how they feel. Me, being a dumbass, continue to keep doing it. Now, I know that Chio and her husband love this drink, right? They've tried other stuff too on the menu, but they love this drink. And I keep tweaking it. And after a while, they're like, GTG, I need a refund on this. It was great once, but you've made too many changes. I'm not liking the flavor profiles. I'm tasting too much failure, and with the lack of self-realization, I need you to go back to the original format. But we can't have this today. We have a long day ahead of us. We want to start our day off right, but this isn't going to work. I'm sorry. You have to. We need a refund. And I sit there and say, behind the counter, and I'm looking at that, I'm thinking to myself, it would work if you worked with me. It would work out. It would be good if you just told yourself it was good. See, you're the problem here, not me. Because you're the one who brought it. I'm sorry, I had this all schemed out. It's only a problem because you brought it up. You're the problem because you brought it up. If you had worked with me, there wouldn't have been an issue with this. That's basically what he did there. Now, granted, with SnortBucks, I wouldn't do that. If I you know, I like to experiment with some things, but if you guys don't like it, then we go back to the original recipe, and then I'll come up with a whole new drink. I would prefer to do that. You guys in the comment section do that all the time. Come up with different names for different drinks and so on and so forth. I need to do a video dedicated to that so I can actually get it on a list. That'd be great. In any case, that's what, realistically, you listen to the audience or your customer base or whatever the case may be, and you just create something different, but keep what people like there intact. Who sits there and says, oh, you think the product is bad? Or you think it's boring? Oh, well, that's not my fault. That's your fault because you're not working with me on it. You're not bringing your expectations and your standards down low enough to make it tolerable. It's your fault because you brought up the problem. You've heard all these things from Phil before. But he's supposed to be a live streamer. He's supposed to be a professional live streamer, and anybody who thinks he's bad at what he does are shitheads, and to hell with them. Keep that in mind. DSP News. SnortBucks. The best coffee.
No one's really talking to me right now. No one's even talking to me anymore. Seriously, no one is talking to me anymore on the stream, so I think when people completely stop talking to me on a stream, that's a sign that the stream is played out and people are pretty much done for the night. Like, not a single person is like equipping. Now Quantrell Blizzard just said, "What's up, brother?" See what I mean? Like, as people literally stopped talking to me until I mentioned it, I'm like, I guess people are bored. I guess this is it for tonight. I'm definitely out of here.
Now, I want you to listen to this for a minute. So, this guy's 37 years old. And some people usually hit me up and they're like, hey, do you think, you know, Catherine's really pregnant? Do you think there's really a kid in play? How do you think things are going to be for that kid? To be honest, I'm worried for that kid. Because look at how Phil acts when he doesn't have any attention on his streams. Can you imagine what it's like to have a little snorty me running around, or a slightly darker version of snorty me running around? Not implying anything. And Catherine and Jasper are doting all of their attention on he or she and not Phil. Hey, Phil, the baby's crying. We need you to go and get diapers. Hey, Phil, the baby's crying. You need to go out and get formula. Hey, Phil, we need more whatever. You need to go out and get this. Oh, well, I don't really have the money right now because I need the money to play my games. And there's some new releases coming out. No, sorry, that $60 needs to go towards the baby. Or it needs to go to getting baby clothes, or it needs to go to getting different type of ointments and oils and stuff like that because the baby has this ridiculous bacon rash and we don't know where it came from. And I don't know if that's some porky nonsense that came off your side of the family because apparently Phil's side has all the crazy shit. So it needs to be taken care of. Or doctor visits and all these other things. I would be, I'm certainly concerned. I'm certainly concerned for good reason. Because, like I said, if he would act like this on stream, which is not like there's a difference in persona between Phil Burnell in real life and then Dark Side Phil online, just imagine what it's like to throw a child into that. I don't wish that on any child at all.
I'm hot as hell, like sweating disgustingly. I want to get the fuck out of this office. Sadly, I have other shit I gotta do in here. It's so fucking annoying. I can never get out of here. I got other shit I gotta do in here before I can even leave. Ugh. No one pays attention to the game. No one pays attention to Phil. No one's really talking to me anymore now. Some people are taking off for the night. I got people in stream chat not even talking about the game. It's hard to engage you guys when you're not, like, addressing the game, just saying. No one in the stream chat's even talking to me anymore, so I'm gonna call it a night soon, guys. Sorry, but if people aren't gonna pay attention, I'm not gonna fucking keep playing. The shade, because we're almost to level 47. I was going to keep going until we hit 47, but now we got people talking about the most random shit that has nothing to do with anything. Stuff that I'm not going to talk about. So if anyone actually wants to talk to me while I play this game, it would be nice. People are talking about Little Pump the Rapper and all kinds of other shit. I have no fucking idea what anyone's talking about. You know, this is a gameplay stream that I like to interact with my viewers, so if anyone wants to like hang out and talk, I'd appreciate that. Rather than me just playing the game by myself and you guys ignoring me. Or else I don't even know why you're in here. I'm just saying.
Listen to that. Now we're getting to the more serious aspect of this, of the broadcast, kind of, sort of. But listen to that. Listen to this. 37. He's not some 15-year-old or some 17-year-old who just started streaming. He's 37 and he's been streaming at least consistently for like 2.5 years. 2.5 years. And this is how he's acting. You can't tell me he's not driving his stock, if you will. Because theoretically, whether you want to believe it or not, Phil is a brand. But, or Dspgaming is a brand, if you will. Or DSP Enterprises, or whatever you want to call it. He's driving it into the ground. And look, who's hurting him? Where's the detractors at? Where's the Tevin Fault memes at? You know what I'm saying? Where's that mysterious group that's hurting him behind the scenes? Where are all the trolls and everything who are systematically dismantling his life? Dismantling his life. I apologize. Where are all these people? Where are all these calamities at? If you were someone who was coming to a Dark Side Phil stream for the first time, and you heard the 3 or 4 minutes leading up to this, you'd be like, why am I here? Why is anybody here? To hear some self-absorbed man-child cry about how he's not getting enough attention. I'm sorry, your wife can't do that? Or is your wife giving that attention to somebody else? Confident sniff.
I mean, I'm just saying, you know, it would be nice. What's going on in stream chat? It's been over 2 minutes and no one said anything. What the hell's going on? There we go. Now people are talking again. I think people were like falling asleep or something. Like, I want to talk with you guys, even if you guys.
This is babysitting. I don't care what nobody said. This is babysitting. Literally, we're babysitting at this point.
Don't like the game. I hate Rage 2. Talk to me. Let's talk. Let's just chat. I mean, let's face it. Half the games I play these days, like MLB and shit, you're not here for the game. You're here to interact with me. If you're bored, then talk to me about something else. You know what I mean? Don't just completely derail the chat with unrelated shit, man. Ninth Golem is a complete idiot since it's a narcissism that I want people to trash talk me instead of someone else. Dude, it's a fucking gameplay stream on my Twitch channel. I just don't want people to constantly be talking about other people. Coming to the stream chat, Wings of Redemption, Wings of Redemption, Wings of Redemption. What the fuck is this? What are people even talking about? Why are people even here if they're going to talk about another streamer? Good question. If you want to talk about another streamer, you should probably fucking go to their stream and leave me alone. How about that, asshole? Not about narcissism, it's about you pissing me off because you're fucking annoying.
You know, unlike when I played Borderlands 1, now my streams are completely interactive. We talk constantly. We have conversation. You know, we not only talk about what's going on in the games, but we also have fun conversations about everything else going on everywhere. And as long as we approach it like that, I think this would actually be quite a fun playthrough, because not only is it a mainstream new game, but it's a game that could have a lot of interaction and a lot of conversation, rather than it just being about me playing the new game. You see what I mean? But that definitely need some buy-in from you guys. And what I mean by that is, it definitely means that I need you guys to be willing to work with me, talk with me, have some conversations, have some fun. If you're not liking the gameplay, don't completely disconnect from me and start these off-tangent conversations.
But he's a gameplay streamer. He said that. He's not. If you're not interested in the game, then why would you talk to him about the game if the game doesn't interest you? And doesn't he not? And has he not almost said castrated, which theoretically he's done that to most of them. But hasn't he not chastised most people in his own audience for not staying focused on the game or on him? But if the game is boring and he's playing it badly, what the hell is there really to talk to him about? If he doesn't want to talk about politics or religion, there's nothing wrong with either one of those. Those are actually pretty good things. Actually, it should be politics, religion, and money are 3 things that he shouldn't be talking about at all. But the third one is whatever. And then he doesn't know shit about anything else unless he reads it on Twitter. He has no depth to him whatsoever. And now he's saying, you guys need to work with me. Now you guys need to pick up the slack. You guys need to come through in the clutch, because I have nothing else to provide. That's basically what he's telling them. That's why you guys have to pick up the weight. And no one's going to say anything about anything. Okay.
Stream chat that literally have nothing to do with me. Like, I see it all the time. Someone's bored about the game, so let's start talking about football. Let's start talking about another streamer that Phil knows nothing about. Let's start doing it. It's like, if you do that, you're actively seeking to disconnect from me, my playthrough, and there's nothing I can do about that. Like, I can't talk about topics that I know nothing about, and if that's where you're leading the stream chat conversation, then I can't interact with you guys, and I end up feeling kind of disjointed or, you know, disconnected from what you guys are talking about. I don't want that to happen with Borderlands 3. Alright, I know this is going to be a quality game, and I know that this is going to be a game that could end up being pretty lengthy depending on how much I put into it. At the same time, I know that there's going to be disconnect with the gameplay not being super riveting, and I want to let you guys to know up front, I'm willing to just turn this into a more interactive deal, but you got to work with me on it, okay? You got to. You can't just come in here with the expectation the game's going to be super exciting. I tell you right now, it's not going to be for a viewing audience.
Because people tune in for the human aspect of my streams, not just for high quality gameplay, because most of the time I'm not putting out high quality gameplay.
It's going to be more about us hanging out, and if you're cool with that and you want to hang out with me, great. But if not, maybe the Borderlands 3 playthrough isn't for you, and maybe you should come back when I'm doing something that's not going to be this kind of gameplay. You see what I'm saying? Okay, fair enough. So, there you go. So anyway, Borderlands 3 starts today. I don't know how long it is. If I remember correctly, the original Borderlands was around between 20 to 30 hours long, but it depended on if you wanted to do a lot of the side content, grindy missions, or if you just wanted to go straight through the main storyline. Borderlands 2, I think, was actually shorter. I'm trying to remember, but I remember doing it full co-op with John Rambo, and I don't remember it being as long, but maybe then again it was because we did co-op and we didn't do all the side stuff too. I guess we'll see. We're going to see firsthand. You know, this is good. This is going to be a playthrough that we're going to be balancing with other stuff. Alright, I'm going to be doing it for a couple days as a mainstream focus, and then after that, it's going to be balanced with the other things I've been doing. We'll talk about that in just a moment as we go through the schedule. Alright, so Borderlands 3 premiering right now. I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are looking forward to it as well. And again, definitely thank you to those who contributed in order to make it happen. Hold on one second, because I feel like I'm about to sneeze. I'm going to mute the mic quickly as I blow my nose. I'll be right back. I don't want to sneeze. I'll be right back. Ugh. So, please understand that there's absolutely no obligation whatsoever for me to respond to anything on my streams at all. If you guys contribute, great. I'm going to do my best to give you a shout out, but that doesn't mean that I have to derail the whole stream to talk about a topic that's unrelated to the stream or a topic that I feel is insulting or dramatic or derailing. I don't have a contract where I have to do anything on my stream, understand? I just want to say that up front because some people come in here and say, you know, they'll contribute and expect that I'm going to, like, now derail my stream to talk about toxic shit that they want to talk about. No. And I don't have to say anything about it. I can completely not acknowledge a contribution if that's the case, and it's within my power and within my right, alright? It's absolutely hilarious, because sometimes you get these idiots who come in here, and they'll tip me a bunch of money, right? A few dollars. They'll throw me a few dollars.
And that goes back to something I've talked about before, about the obligation. The obligation aspect, where you guys give me money, right? And you're giving me money because you like what I do already. You like what I provide. You like me as a person. So don't ask me for shit. The only time you speak when spoken to and only with permission. The only time that I need you guys to interact with me is if I'm bored, or if I need to be entertained, or if I want your opinion about something that, in truth, I don't really give a fuck about your opinion anyway. I'm going to do what I want. I'm just going to give you guys the illusion of choice. That's all that ever has. This is how it's always been. At least from what I've seen. It's always been this way. So why do we have such... why are people surprised when Phil shits on either them or people in his fan base? Makes no sense to me whatsoever. It's all here. It's clear as crystal. It's always been this way. Why would he change? Why would anybody be surprised? I don't know. DSP News.
Insults. All insulted, stupid, toxic shit. And then... you know, after the fact, they'll try to actually go to, like, PayPal and be like,
Phil didn't acknowledge my tip, so I have the right to dispute this and get my money back. To which I respond, no you don't. Said right on the stream every time that there's no obligation, and I always win. I literally always win. So, you know, it's pretty silly, these idiots, what they try to pull off. But that's why I have this disclaimer at the front of the stream, because that's what covers my butt. Okay? Most of the tips that I get, I don't get that. A lot of the tips don't go through. That's happened a lot, where it says there's a tip, and then I look, and it's gone. For whatever reason, the bank declined it, or whatever. It sucks, but you know, it sucks when it doesn't go through.
Right now, I'm still awaiting my payment, my monthly payment from Twitch. I am still monstrously overdrawn on my bank account. In fact, during my day off, 2 more payments cleared. And the good news is I'm pretty sure these are the final payments that were going to be made before my Twitch payment cleared. The bad news is, boop, my bank account is like massively in the red again. Massively. Like, not even joking.
Greed is massively strong. I have no fucking self-control.
So if you want to help me out, the best way that you can help me right now is by tipping me. Because tips, I get those funds immediately, and those are going to go straight to my bank account. No exaggeration. That's where they need to go. They need to help me to get back into the black. You know, the more I raise, the better, because that means when I get paid by Twitch, it's not going to be sucked up by all this money I already owe. So please, if you're going to contribute today, anything is appreciated. I don't look at gift or send them out. Cheering, subbing, tipping, everything's great. But tipping me helps me more than anything right now, because tips I can put directly towards this issue, and I really need the help. So please consider tipping me if you can.
But see, all it is it's just another piggy vortex, though. He'll never get out. You know what I'm saying? Because now, think about how we're layering this. So we're gonna layer this as one of my famous BLTs. I've actually made one of these too, or I've made a couple of these actually. So I like lettuce, tomato. I've actually tried it with spinach too as of late, which is actually pretty good to be honest. But whatever. Lettuce, tomato. I prefer to go with Hellmann's mayonnaise, but you can also go with Kraft mayo if you want, whatever you want to do. Now the real thing is the bacon. So I've tried it with 3 different types of bacon. So I like to go with like a spicy sriracha bacon. Then I like to go with candy bacon. If you guys have been around for any period of time, you know how I feel about that. That's delicious. And then I tested out this new thing with some, am I using Texas Pete hot sauce, I think? Yeah, it's like Texas Pete hot sauce and like a little bit of honey. And I mix that together, and then I layer that over the bacon and whatnot. Really delicious, a lot of variety, a lot of flavor there. This is kind of, in some way, shape or form, how Phil is doing this with his vortex of money on his days off. So, I need tips so I can pay for games, so I can pay for bills, so I can basically function day to day while I'm waiting for my big paychecks to come into play. I'll talk about those in just a second. Here's the problem. He has overdrafts on a bunch of different things, yeah? So we have a bunch of overdrafts, so he has to fight that. Then we actually have, and then keep in mind, since he doesn't have the actual money in the account, he needs enough money to actually cover the bill itself because the bank's not going to do it forever. At least that's what he keeps saying. And then he has surprise bills, in air quotes, that pop up every single month that he's not ready for or he forgot about or whatever the case may be, and he has to worry about. Those are your 3 layers of bacon. Let's talk about the actual circumstance itself, shall we? So Phil tells us, well, when you look at Phil's income, it's broken up in a couple different ways. Won't go into all of it. I want to just kind of go into the big 3 that are important, I think. Patreon, which I think is paid to him at the beginning of the month. That's about $400 or $500. YouTube, Twitch, which is paid between the 15th and the 18th of each month. And then YouTube, which is paid between the 21st and the 25th. Those are the big 3 each month that comes through. And yet, you're telling me he has no money whatsoever to cover anything. When you think about the cheers, subs, and bits is what he's essentially getting paid for by Twitch. Everything else is just strictly begging. All of that's downtime if you think about it. And since he doesn't plug Patreon, or at least not as often, and yet he's still able to walk away with the with $400 to $500 a month is something rather extraordinary in itself. That's Spoonie 1 levels type shit there. But very interesting shit. But really, all the begging does is supplement, or the tips, if you will, are just supplementing him throughout the entire month, over and over and over again. That's the vortex that we have here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the situation is. Now, there are bigger brain people on Kiwi Farms, or go to James the Lesser, Agent Proper, or LSB, and Tevin as well, and Theo too. Now I think about it, my apologies on that. And go over there, and they'll give you the breakdowns of the finances a little bit more if you want, or just hit Kiwi Farms because they have it, and some really smart people on Twitter. They can give you the full breakdown. I might go over it one day. because they do put it up there month after month after month. So I would like to do like a small compilation of what he's made throughout the entire year. I probably should consider doing that, actually. That'd make actually a nice little montage. But anyway, I just gotta pick the right music. I could use the Montana Mac shit from Tiny Toons. I could do that. That might actually work. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, sorry about that. Kind of my own thought there. But that's what our situation is. So he's consistently put all these different layers of pork up there, right? To keep supplementing him and give substance to the sandwich. But you guys will never really finish the sandwich. You'll never get through all of it because there's too much to overcome. You know what I mean? There's just too many barriers. You'll never make it through all of it. Ever. That's why there's a new story each month. That's why there's a new cover story. That's why there's a new new catastrophe. There's a new circumstance. There's a new issue. This is how he's planned on living, off the sympathy of others in the worst possible way. I occasionally have stories sent to me by individuals, but mainly you can read up on Huey Farm's best place to go. It's one of the best places to go. And you hear about these people who used to be former fans of Phil, and they end up leaving for a couple years, and they come back, and they're like, why the fuck didn't I see some of this stuff earlier? Or how did I miss this? Or what the hell is happening? And it goes back to something that I've talked to Agent Proper about, as well as James the Lesser, that the signs for all of this was there. It was there from the jump, I think. I think what it is that it's just human nature. It's human decency that you want to think the best of people. And people will take advantage of that. Not everybody, but most people will take advantage of it. And looking at Phil as an individual, looking at his nature, he is what he is. Now, someone made a very compelling argument recently in my DMs that Phil evolved into this. He evolved into being kind of the shithead asshole that he is. And I respect that opinion. At the same time, though, since I wasn't around at the very beginning of all this Detractor shit, I'm not surprised he's at where he's at. And when I go back and I look at some of his older stuff, which is what I spent a lot of time doing on the Fight Club channel. Someone asked me, why do I call it that, and how do I find it? It's just the second channel. That's really all it is. I call it the Fight Club channel because I never really promoted it. I still kind of don't, even though it's on one part on this channel. The reason why I call it that is because only a few people know about it. And, the rules of Fight Club is, rule number 1, we do not talk about Fight Club. And yet I find myself consistently referring to that, which is the reason why I started it. I started that channel to learn more about the lore on my own, trying to actually get in there and actually walk through some of the pig shit to figure out and understand why he is where he is. The signs were always there, at least the way I see it. But then I'm looking at it from a kind of biased point of view, theoretically. But it was always there. It's not a surprise that he's ended up where he is now. He was always going to go here. He believes the world owes him. He believes everybody in this world owes him. He believes that he should have the best of everything. And he'll work the minimum amount to get it. You sitting there and putting out 30 videos a day is not hard work. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not hard work. It never was. It was spam. It was you trying to get over on the system. And eventually it came back to haunt him. That's what it came down to. I don't have to praise him for, no one does, but I don't have to praise him because he did this for 10 years going on 11. If that was the case, and he wants to go with the whole materialistic type aspect, like everything he's obtained, why don't you have more? And when I say why don't you have more, I don't mean physically. I mean from a sentimental value. I mean from an intellectual value. Why don't you have more? Why don't you have more knowledge? Why don't you have more people in your fan base who have knowledge? Why isn't it, I should say, let me change that. My apologies. Why isn't more people in his fan base knowledgeable about what Phil does and actively trying to help him get better? I'm not talking about fan art. I'm talking about actual know-how when it comes to streaming. I'm talking about how to show him how to do better settings, how to go back and construct better videos, go back into making montages. You have 2 channels that he could utilize. DSP Gaming's dead as far as I'm concerned, but KO Gaming and King of Hate Vlogs, at least KO Gaming has some hope. He could literally put montages of every one of his videos, or make a montage video, I should say, of every one of his playthroughs, and have that up there on that channel each month. Now, most of you are like, oh, he doesn't have an editor now, he doesn't have Premiere, yada, yada, yada. Fuck all that. You can download a free editor, and it's not a problem. And whatnot. And James the Lesser has put, well, let me be honest, I put the offer out there on James the Lesser's behalf. But he could also ask James the Lesser, and James the Lesser could hook him up. But either which way, he could, and actually, there's an easy way of doing the whole montage thing. For example, there's someone that I really enjoy watching, a guy by the name of Chase Money. Been around for a long time, grinded very, very hard. He is leaps and bounds a better content creator than Phil ever could be. He's that entertaining, he's that funny, he's that informative. Like, Phil couldn't hold a candle to this guy. He still can't. But Chase came up is someone who actually enjoys doing montages for all of his playthroughs. And so Chase came up with a very, very good idea years ago, where when you're watching his playthroughs on YouTube, yeah, use a timestamp. Put that in for the funny moments in the comment section. He'll eventually go back later, go through, look at all of the different timestamps, and then he'll choose what he feels are the best ones. And then that's how he makes all of his montages. It's as straightforward and as easy it could ever be. And the fans are participating in it. And your name gets in there too. Actually, sometimes your comment with your timestamp gets in there also. That's easy peasy lemon squeezy. He doesn't have to go back and try to figure out what he thinks people think are funny and whatnot. They've already done it because they're already watching it. But there goes the problem. There goes the mystical piece of bacon that is missing from this whole elaborate sandwich that I'm trying to create right now, and I haven't been able to figure it out yet. Is that the comment section isn't open. So all the avenues that you would have to help him out, you can't do it. You can't do it on Twitter because it's probably going to be lost in the shuffle. King of Hate forums is a goddamn joke, and unless you're trying to get yourself really fucked up, don't go there. So how do you reach out to him? By email? That's a joke too, unless there's money attached to it. Shit, emailing him and expecting a response is no different than going on to his Twitch chat and wanting to talk to him directly. That's not gonna happen unless there's some money attached to it, or at least the promise of money. So where do you go from there? You see what I'm saying? Like, you see where the problems and the issues are? But he makes it sound like there isn't any money on YouTube and there's no money to be had. YouTube's dead. If that's the case, then why do we still have people who come up on YouTube every day and are making all this money and they don't flaunt it like assholes like Phil does? And so I guess because these people aren't like Phil and flaunting their money, right? Flaunting their success and just consistently try to put out great content and are enjoying themselves. Oh, well, they're not making nearly as much money. They're probably not making any money. Or they have crowdfunding behind them too. Because if anybody's doing something positive and Phil's not doing it, there has to be an angle. There has to be something that they're doing nefariously to make things work. Because that's how his mind works. You want to know why that is? Because that's how he would do it. That's how he has been doing it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is as telling as anything else. And he's always been that way. Phil has always been that way. If people chose to ignore it, that's fine. But no one should be surprised. No one should be wondering how fucking low does the Phil Burnell well go. You guys saw it all right there. You guys just you guys chose to kind of ignore it. Or you chose not to want to believe it. And that's fine. Yet again, I can't shit on you for that. You know what I mean? Yet again, human nature kind of dictates that you hope that people would get better. But Phil never had any intention of doing that at all. If he wanted to get better, he would have done it off your backs. Because why wouldn't he? And that right there is the dark truth, if you will, about Phil Burnell, about DSP, about about DSP Gaming. The crowdfunding wasn't just money. It was always the time, the effort, the will, and the ambition and admiration of those around him. Even early detractors. That's what the truth is. And when those people started to fight back. Then all of a sudden, you guys all became mentally ill. You guys all became fucking psychos. You guys were all going to run up in his house and murder him over his opinion on a video game. That's how he reduced all you guys. And to those who were still loyal to him, he dehumanized those early detractors. He made them seem like something less than human. Subhuman, which is what he had called them. He had called them subhuman before. That's how he was able to justify what he does even to this day. And all of that stuff was clear back in 2015. Even earlier than that. So, something to think about for those out there who still want to save Phil. He's just gonna drown you too. Throw him the life preserver, he's too lazy to swim to it. You go in there and try to get him out of that abyss that he's basically cultivated for himself, he'll drag you down with it. And he'll drag as many corpses down with you until he can hit that bottom. And obviously, as you know, with an abyss, there's usually no bottom. But he'll drag you guys down until somebody's dead corpse hits the bottom so he can stand. So he can continue. Which is what he's always done. All of you are merely stepping stones. Yes, Phil wants a kingdom. He wants a throne. He thinks he has it, but he wants all those things. But in truth, if he has to, he'll rule on the bones of those who are his enemies and allies alike, as long as he can continue to move forward. I know it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem that dramatic, if you will, but the scary part of it is it's kind of like that. Kind of. DSP News?
Yes, more than the other day. Boy, people are dense. Someone just said, more than the couple $100 you said you were in the red the other day? Yeah, I literally just said on stream. Ready? I'm going to repeat myself again. During my day off, more payments cleared, and now I'm more in the red. I just said that 2 seconds ago, but you must open your stuffed ears. I recommend a nice ear cavity cleansing. What you can do is you can go to your doctor, and they'll take this saline solution, squirt it in your ear, and clear out all the earwax that's apparently blocking it up, because you couldn't hear me say that like a minute ago. Okay?
I need to raise a lot of money this month. Support the stream. Send me a tip. Go pledge to my Patreon. Do something like that. You know what I mean? I'm not setting up a tips goal. Reason being, the tips goal is kind of it's not necessarily honest, because like I said, if I could raise $17,000, yeah, that would mean all my taxes are taken care of. That would be the ideal state. It's also incredibly unreasonable. You know what I mean? I don't think that's going to happen. That's insane. But no matter what I raise, it helps. So, that's kind of why I'd rather do a total tips rather than a tips goal, because I think a tips goal is kind of dishonest. Very, very, very hypocritical. King of hypocrisy.
I actually know that because I had that in the mid-2000s. I don't know if I ever told you guys this story. In the mid-2000s, my right ear all of a sudden lost a ton of hearing out of nowhere. And it wasn't like I was listening to loud music or nothing. It just, out of nowhere, my right ear, I couldn't hear much out of it. And I went to the doctor, and he goes, all right, let's see what the hell this is. And he looks in there, he goes, it's blocked. I said, blocked? He goes, yeah, we're going to have to give you a saline rinse. And he did, and it was disgusting. Like, there was a giant backup of wax in there. It was nasty, dude. It was real nasty. And thank God it's the only time that's ever happened in my life. Hopefully I'll never need that again. But he was like, yeah, it must have been...
Keep in mind, this is from the same individual who doesn't bathe every day either. So, keep that in mind.
Just a freak thing where, it could have been anything. It could have been, a piece of fuzz flew in your ear and started accumulating wax and blocked it up, or whatever. It could be anything. The good news is there was no infection or anything, but that's why I lost a lot of my hearing in that ear. So he's like, well, what the hell, we'll do your other ear too. And he did it, and that one had a little bit, but it wasn't like nearly as bad. It was just the right ear was like fucked up. So, yeah, you could do it. So yeah, if you're listening to my stream and you ask a stupid question that I literally just answered like a minute ago, what you should do is you should go get a nice saline cleaning of your ears so you can hear better, so you don't ask me the question immediately after I just answered it, okay? All right. So there you go.
Now, with that being said, I'm someone who advocated, to be honest, for him to have these regular goals. A day, though, I never thought that was going to be a good idea. He should just split it up and have the morning stream and the night stream. Didn't think it would actually... And he did it for a little while when it was a $200 goal, and then he ended up abandoning it after a while, because why not? Now it's up to 100 now. He seems to be hitting it rather consistently. Not every day, obviously, and not every stream, but he does seem to be hitting it. Eventually, he should consider upping it. I don't know if he will or not, but he should. You might even need to go ahead and up it back to $200 a stream, to be honest. But I don't know if he will or not. That'll depend strictly on him. In any case, if that's what it takes to keep people motivated, because to be honest with you, and this is bare minimum at its best, people need something to strive for. And this is it. Somebody feels some level of satisfaction by, hitting that $100 goal for him. So he might as well keep doing it. There's no real reason not to, and it's not like he has any grievances about it. So it is what it is. It's not something that he should feel like he needs to defend. He should just go with it. He will defend it because he's a bitch, but he shouldn't have. But in actuality, hey, if you want to support me, support the stream, the daily stream goal. I really need it. I need the money to pay my bills. But that's neither here nor there and whatnot. But I don't think it's going anywhere either. I think if it looks like he's really going to commit to it this time, and if so, it's here to stay.
Well, guys, if you can help me out by tipping me today, I would greatly appreciate it. That's the way to go. That's the best way to help me out.
I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
The pragmatic tactician. And he says, do you feel in modern society money and capital equates to power? Yeah.
First we get the money, then we get the power.
I mean, let's not be silly here. Yeah. I mean, there's no way that we could say the opposite, because it absolutely 1,000,000% equates to power. We know that. Should it? I don't know. Because I think there's a lot of people that hold this amount of money, and then they have undue power to keep people having that said money. But that's a political discussion for another time that we're not going to get into on my stream today.
Yeah, but at the same time, that also tells me you don't understand how money works. I mean, that does show his greed in its most maximum form, but the way power is obtained is by spreading money. You don't just hoard it, and because you have a lot of money, people kind of flock to you. It's what you do with that money as well. So it's kind of like a two-pronged thing. It's actually a little bit more than that, but just at its basis. And if you think about it, going back to my rant somewhat earlier about early Phil, you saw that example. When Phil was making hand over fist money, what did he do? Bought himself that Mustang, bought all this dumb shit to crowd his spaces, started to go to people and tell them, hey, let's work on this project with me, and so on and so forth. And he didn't have to do any of the work. Everybody else essentially did all the work. Project 7 was a perfect example. You had Respect the Pack that was actually doing the... actually took care of all the editing and all of that. John and Howard were, and OJ, I would assume to some extent, was working on the scripts. And then all the, as well, even though Phil contributed to most of them, those guys were the ones who were really trying to keep the focus. Then you had other friends of his that were making guest appearances, or other acquaintances that were coming in and helping out too. Phil just came in, played his little part, sometimes did his little script writing, and then ran. And then kind of went off and had his little clip on for his cell phone, and jumped into his BMW and drove off to the local Italian spot so he could fill his gout. That's pretty much what happened. In those early days, those early videos, you see his arrogance. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm the one making all this money on YouTube. I'm the big guy out here. Look at my car. Look at my condo. Look at all the things in my condo. Like I said, it's not about having money. It's what you do with it.
But the answer is yes.
Oh, Jesus. Devour.
Dmitry Maximov tipped me $2 and is asking me a ridiculous question. He says, how much money would it take for me to never be in financial crisis, again?
How much would it take to get Phil out of, being financially tight? Well, hey, $10,000, you gotta remember, a third of that goes to the government. So essentially it would be $6,666. Would help me a lot. It actually wouldn't even get me out of my tax situation right now, real talk, but it would help tremendously. $10,000 Well, let's see. How much money would it take to completely cover me for the rest of my life so I don't have to worry about a single penny of income? How many millions? Let's think about that. It's a ridiculous question.
Essentially what he's saying is that, over the past couple of years, it seems like I have different financial crises that always pop up. And, what would it take?
You gotta love that, though. How many millions? Oh, that's good. That's so good. I like that, Phil. Because most people would tell you that, $2-3 million is all you need. You know what I mean? And most people will say need that much. You know what I'm saying? I mean, granted though, you have to invest because you want your money. You have to have your money work for you. But I mean, Phil doesn't think that way. Phil's like, well, I'm not planning on investing shit. I'm just gonna put it in the bank and take it out whenever I need it. So I'd say Phil's probably one of those guys who says, I want 15, 20, fuck that. I'm being generous now. He's probably one of those people who wants 25, 30, 40 million dollars. You know what I mean? He's probably one of those people who plays lotto, because we know he does. And he probably plays anything over $20 million, I would say. I would have to say for sure. To be honest. Because there are a lot of people, I know a lot of them, I've done it a couple times, where like when those lotto numbers, or when the jackpot, I should say, ends up hitting crazy numbers, like when it starts hitting like stupid crazy numbers, like 100 millions, yeah, I'll go ahead and throw $1 or $2 at that. Sure, why not? But I mean, it is what it is. It's just kind of something fun to do. You hit the numbers, you don't, you don't. Like, you know what I mean? I have no clue. Like, dude, if I end up winning the lotto tomorrow, I have no clue what I'd do. I have no fucking clue of what I would do. I really wouldn't. I know I wouldn't stop working, though. I wouldn't stop working. Because just off the principle. Because now, instead of working because you have to, so to speak, you can now work because you work because you want to. Now you can change careers. Now you can go back to school. Now you can learn a different trade. You have options. You know what I mean? Which is what comes with being financially secure like that. But for Phil, it's about spending the rest of his life just coasting. You know what I'm saying? Spending at his heart's desire, this, that, and the third, never going broke. But it's been proven that lottery winners, especially if they don't have a plan or an idea of what they want with the money, you can go through $60, $70 million in a couple of years. That's been proven. That has been under a decade. You can definitely go through that. There are people who won the lotto, won $5 million. You know what I mean? Gone through it in 2 years. You're telling me someone like Phil Burnell wouldn't go through $10 million in under 5 years? Think about it.
To fix the problem, and the answer is, I told you guys a million times, it's not about a short-term solution fix. It's using short-term fixes to get me through shitty times so that I can finally get to a long-term fix, which I'm working on, all right? I'm very much have things, that are going on behind the scenes that are none of anyone's business, and, I'm hoping that, maybe within a few years, things can settle in and not be a problem anymore. I don't know. I can't answer these questions. These are questions that cannot be answered. I'm not psychic, and I couldn't tell you, it's a ridiculous question. It's an absolutely ridiculous question. So I'm going to sit here.
Look at how offended he is. Look at how offended he is at this question. And the reason why is because he's scared to divulge into it further, because he might say something that he doesn't want to say. Because it's starting to make me think, ladies and gentlemen, because obviously the guy has debt, right? He just doesn't want to let you know how much debt. But it's very, very hard to think yourself out of imaginary debt when you don't actually know how much debt you want to have. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of the thing on Phil, is that it'll never be enough money because he always keeps, as I've said earlier, compiling more and more problems on top of it. So you'll never know if there's ever a bottom. In his head, as long as I keep throwing stuff at him, as long as I keep throwing new scenarios at him, they'll always think I'm going to need their help, and they'll just pay me forever. That's what he's thinking. And because of that, he can't use his imagination, because he doesn't have one, to sit there and tell you, well, I would need $750,000 to cover all of my debts. That's not going to cover Phil for the next 10 years. It realistically it should, but it won't because Phil's greedy, as we've already established. So that's not good enough. So now, it makes him discouraged. Now he's pissed off. Now he don't want to talk about it anymore because he doesn't want to say anything that's going to come back and bite him. So something to think about.
And start breaking down my personal financials for all of you on stream. A gameplay stream, you know, bear with me here. It's a gameplay fucking stream. You really think I'm going to tear into this? Like, you're out of your mind. All right.
But you do that every day anyway, so who cares? Oh, because there's actually gameplay on screen that we should feel concerned about the situation when obviously you're in pre-stream status right now. And as you're seeing with Snort Burnell, you're seeing more and more that Snort Burnell is branching out and incorporating more gameplay and incorporating more of the streams into it. That's growth, obviously. Phil don't see that because Phil don't understand it. Phil don't understand that shit. But it's because of that you're getting to see the whole story over the span of that day, which helps tie everything in. You see it occasionally, but you know what I'm talking about. Snort Burnell's done this before. If Phil, he can't win. He just can't. He'll always be at a disadvantage. You can't sit there and throw your pig shit out when you feel like it, and then when people decide to question you on it, you get mad at it. You just can't do that. That's not realistically feasible to conduct it that way. That's why people don't believe him. But then again, Phil has already established that he doesn't care if people don't believe him anymore. If you don't believe him, get the fuck out. The pignosis didn't work on you, or you broke free. Bye. And bring the new sucker in. So there you go on that. It's rather scary, though, to say the least.
You're out of your mind. Oh my goodness. Oz Neck. $2 million in your life. What are you most proficient at? Proficient. Oh man.
At lying and taking advantage of people? If I had to guess. Oh, and denying reality. By far, denying reality.
Interesting question. I don't think I've ever really thought about that. What am I most proficient at? That's something I don't think I can answer on the fly on a stream. I'd have to think about it. I wonder what people in the stream chat would have to say about that. Out of, the streams that you guys attend every day, what do you think I'm most proficient at? I'm sure you'll get various answers. Some positive, some negative. There you go. Stalling. Of course, I'm proficient. And everyone's like, it's not gaming. There's no way it's gaming. So there you go. I can't answer that on the fly. That might be a very subjective question, and I don't really.
You're proficient at failing. That's almost like a natural talent, to be honest.
Excuse me. Oh my gosh, excuse me. What's going on? I don't really think about that stuff too much, so.
Phil's a scam artist swimming in money. He's basically a con artist. I'm an artist. Phil's a scam artist. Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone. Just gone like that. In an instant. Fucking gone.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into the last video of our broadcast, and that'll be a wrap for us. I will see you guys literally in just a second.
I just care about...
This is how to play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. And I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
So here's the deal. If you guys remember, a few months ago, I think it was back, I want to say...
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're here for the last video of our broadcast. Oh my. Here, yet again, one of our favorites. Snort Burnell, DSP. No day one views for the Genesis Mini. Begging interactions. Begging interaction. And then dramatic drop off in YouTube views. Hurtful. Just hurtful. Here we go.
It was in July. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was in July. The Genesis Mini was announced officially. and all the pre-orders went live for the Genesis Mini. At that point, people had asked me, Phil, would you be interested in covering the Genesis Mini? And my answer was absolutely, I'd be interested in covering the Genesis Mini. It seems like something that would be right up my alley. I grew up, playing these classic consoles. The Genesis was one of them that I owned, and I had a lot of fun with it, but I never really had a chance to play a lot of the games on it. It was really Super Nintendo was my console of choice. And so at that point, someone who had been visiting my streams offered to me to get me a Genesis Mini. They said that they were going to pre-order it and everything, and they even showed me that they had pre-ordered it, and apparently everything was locked and loaded and ready to go. That I was going to get a Genesis Mini this month.
Look at how much he had riding on this, and look at how prestigious listened to, I should say, how prestigious he felt when this happened. Someone came to me, they offered to me to give me this Genesis Mini. You know what I mean? It'll be in that they already sent me all the criteria needed to kind of solidify their story, and I was ready for it. I was geared up for it. He had so much riding on this, just mental gymnastics. He had so much riding on this that when it didn't happen, I'm sure he would have been disappointed as shit. I'm sure he would have cried himself a piggy river of tears for it. Sorry. I guess it comes down to this. It's amazing how everybody online has to be honest, has to be truthful, and has to cater to Phil Burnell, but he doesn't have to do any of those things in return. It's a literally take type relationship, and you guys get nothing in return outside of what he was going to offer you in the first place, which he wasn't going to offer you anything. It was just what he was going to put out. And that has decreased in value and in effort over the years. But because you liked it when it was, if anybody could ever say it was good, but since you guys were around when it was actually good, you guys should just work with me on the way it is now. See how everything's kind of tying itself together from broadcast to broadcast? Kind of works out well. Let's continue. DSP News.
Cover for you guys.
Day one views, day one inflated views, make the money.
And you guys seemed really stoked about this, right? You were really excited. You were like, man, that's cool. He's going to do an unboxing. He's going to hook it up and show us the games on it. He's going to play it. This is like a really cool opportunity for Phil to do something fun and different, right? Well, then a few weeks ago, the guy contacts me and says it's bailing. Oh, I can't get it anymore. It's like, but dude, you pre-ordered it like 2 months ago. Committed to getting it, right? If you were going to do that, you should have made sure that there was not going to be a circumstance where you couldn't get it. So it kind of sucks.
Wait, if we're going to talk about commitment, right? You know that you have bills showing up each and every month, and for whatever reason, you don't ever have the money put aside to pay these bills. You should be committed to your bills, and you should be committed to paying it. For example, the light company or whatever, the power company, they sit there and supply you with a service, and you're committed by contract to pay it. And yet Phil never seems to have the money to do it. Or he allegedly doesn't have the money to do it until crowdfunding comes in. Or he doesn't have or he barely has the money to pay for his cable and internet and everything. Or he says that he wants to play a game and he'll hype that shit out months in advance, and then we get to the week of and he doesn't have the money for the game. But he's committed to us paying. He's committed to shit. He has committed himself to playing it because he told us he was going to. But now all of a sudden he doesn't have the money a week out, 2 weeks out. Just something to think about.
Sucks, but it is what it is. That's life, you know. When someone says they're going to do something and they don't, sometimes it happens. All right, so I'm not going to stand here and cry about it or whatever. But I talked about it on stream, and then luckily, another fan of mine, stepped up and said, "Well, you know what? That sucks. I would like to get the Genesis Mini for you then, because that really sucks. I really wanted to see you cover it and everything." And I was very appreciative of that. And again, I'm not going to say who it was because they didn't ask for any kind of extra credit for it or anything. But it was very nice of them, to say the least, to step up and offer and say, okay, I'll take up the reins then, since this other guy kind of fell through. I'll get you the Genesis Mini, which is really awesome, right? Well, we got an update on it last night, and sadly the update's not good. The update is, I am getting the Genesis Mini, don't get me wrong. I'm still getting it. Nothing's gone wrong there. But because we pre-ordered it on the later side, I'm not going to get it at launch. I'm going to get it the week after, which sucks. You know, everyone wants to see it on launch day, on release day, and I'm not going to get it on release day.
Wah, I'm not making.
That sounds like that Wolverine action figure again. And he's like, everybody wants to see it on release day. I want it on release day, but I'm not getting it on release day. 37 years old, and this is the bitching and complaining we're listening to. This is the most entertainment you're gonna get out of him ever, or well, you'll get out of him probably that day, or at least to start your day with complaining. A child speaks like this.
Yeah, revenue. Wah.
From what I'm being told, I'm going to get it on or around Monday the 23rd. So most people who pre-ordered the Genesis Mini are going to get it on Thursday the 19th. And I'm sadly not going to get it for a little bit longer. And it is what it is. I'm not complaining. Listen, I'm not complaining at all. This has no fault of the person who's gifting this to me at all, right? It's just bad luck that, sadly, the pre-order that we put in, you know, was a little bit on the later side, and now it looks like we're going to have to wait. So, it is what it is. By the way, shout out to Vanessa, who just raided the chat with 14 viewers. Thank you, Vanessa, for the raid. Don't recognize you, but welcome to the stream. And thanks for the raid. I appreciate that. For more Borderlands 3.
Yeah, that's the new thought. Right? That's the new one that has realized, you know what, I'm gonna see what this guy Phil's gonna be able to do for me. Now, for her, to her credit, I think she's gonna be a slow burn. I think she's gonna be someone who's gonna build up anticipation until she's ready to make her move. It should be interesting, I should say, either which way, given the circumstance. But I'm anxious to see how that plays out with her. That's gonna be something.
Yesterday, that was hit or miss. Some people talked to me and we had a good time, and some people completely ignored me and acted like I wasn't even here. Well, wait for people to talk to me. No one's really talking to me right now. And did exactly what I was afraid they would do. Just complained constantly that the game isn't fun for viewers. And that's not going to work. You know, like, you got to work with me here. If you want to have fun, let's talk a little bit. And have some fun with some fun conversations while I'm running and looting and shooting and doing the repetitiveness of what the game engine is, you know. It's not going to work if...
Big ups to Dark Bike, by the way, who gave us the who gave us the heads up on Vanessa there. Vanessa Reach. Got a nice name there, honey.
We just say, oh, you know... It's based on the game. The game's not fun, so now it's boring. Like, well, I knew that was going to happen. Like, I definitely knew the game wasn't going to be super riveting or anything. You know, this is exactly what I expected of Borderlands 3. So I'm not surprised. I guess some people are for some reason. They didn't heed my warnings that the game was probably going to be par for the course for what you would expect in a standard Borderlands game. I don't know. But anyway.
And that's correct. I completely agree. Palm Primus, you need to tag me. What you got to understand is that the chat's moving fast. In a lot of cases, I don't get an opportunity to catch everything that's being said in chat. So if you don't tag me when you're trying to talk to me, chances are I may not see what you're saying. All right? And then if I don't see what you're saying, I can't respond to it. If you're just talking...
Even if you do tag him in chat, there's no guarantee that he'll see it. Or no guarantee he'll acknowledge it, I should say.
Nearly outright and expecting that I'm going to know you're talking to me, I'm not going to know that. See, so right now... Eggs and Sausages play multiplayer to be more interactive. As I already explained at length yesterday, I'm not doing that because when I played multiplayer, people complained constantly that I was not interacting with anyone in the stream chat because I was only talking with my co-op partners, so I'm not playing it multiplayer. That's why I'm not playing it multiplayer, okay? Hello to Crazy Dream. See, everyone's tagging me now. Mark Murphy just tagged me. He said, fair point, Phil. There you go. See, everyone's tagging me. I can actually see what they're saying.
No one pays attention to the game. No one pays attention to Phil. Like, I want to talk with you guys, even if you guys don't like the game. Talk to me. Let's talk. Let's just chat. Let's go ahead and cheer. Cheer with a bigger amount and make them bigger so that way they're more significant, you know. Cheer me on. It's a great way to get a question answered quickly. All right. It's a cool thing. It's a cool interactive thing.
Okay. So, there you go. Fair enough, guys. So let's have some fun. Like I said, essentially, the Borderlands stream is going to be kind of like when I play a chill game at night. It's going to be more about me interacting with you guys than hyper-focused always on the gameplay. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having fun conversations while I'm killing 100 repetitive bandits. But let's do it like that, all right? So let's have a fun stream like that today, all right?
Support the stream. Send me a tip. Go pledge to my Patreon. Do something like that. You know what I mean?
So give me money. Yeah, give me money. So first, if you want to support the stream, give him money. You want to contribute to the stream, give him money and shower him with praise. And then interact with him is give him money, right? Shower him with praise, and then give him more money to talk to him. Or so he can talk to you. That sounds about right. Give me money. That's exactly what that sounds like.
Star Beast just hit me $5 and says, hand over those beautiful titties. Oh my god. Will Phil only read the chat if someone cheers, subs, or tips?
And now we got a $5 tip from someone anonymous asking, is the dramatic drop-off in my YouTube views the reason why I have such bad financial problems? It's obviously... I mean, that would be pretty self-explanatory, right? Yeah.
And the bottom line is, it doesn't matter, like my Twitch, my YouTube video.
No. The reason why he has yes. Actually, let me correct myself. Yes and no. We'll say yes. The reason why at least he had financial problems early on was because YouTube fell off. He could have diversified early and gone on Twitch and then stayed there. He could have done both. He didn't want to because he was a lazy fuck and he wanted to have all of his money come from one place, YouTube. Because he had been suckling at that teat forever and he didn't want to give it up. Not forever, but you know what I mean, the majority of his online career. And he didn't want to give it up. He didn't want to diversify until he had to. When he got kicked from Machinima and that was him who did that, by the way. When he got himself kicked off of there, he had no choice but to go to Twitch. He knew he had no other options. Because no other MCN was going to put up with his bullshit, and more importantly, wasn't going to get him to manage partnership. That goes into the honey dicking saga, which is a whole nother bit of nonsense in itself. And then he ended up finally getting himself plopped onto, he went to Curse. He had to beg people to get him to get him in contact with Curse. Then he got honey dicked with Laveria. Then he ended up going back to Curse again. But he had no choice but to end up going over to Twitch and start streaming because it was the quickest way to bring money in. That's it. But the decline on YouTube was his own fault, nobody else's. He can keep blaming that shit on the false copyright strikes and things like that, and false copyright claims. I argue that he was in a decline before that. And if you go back to that era where he said, I'm making only this much now, 33%, half, or 50%, this much, 40%, yada yada, throughout all these different crazy ass numbers, and you think about the amount of money that he says not even the amount of money, just the amount of how his income was being slashed, he must have been making dumb money even up to that point. So why was he begging and pleading with people if he was already making crazy money? When Phil ended up having to go to Twitch the second time, I think Phil was making six figures before he got dropped from Machinima. I think he was already making six figures. Just off YouTube alone. And then he had no choice, and then once Machinima dropped his ass, and plus his declining income already on YouTube, he had no choice but to go to Twitch. He had no choice. There was no other options for him unless getting a part-time job. And he definitely wasn't going to do that. So but then again, that's his own fault too, because he didn't diversify. He sat there and let himself go stagnant, and when he went stagnant, his income suffered too. If you're not willing to do anything new, anything different, if you're not willing to change yourself for the content, it's only going to go stale. Everybody changes up a little bit. He wasn't willing to do that. Oh, I was popular by doing everything the same way. Excuse me. It says the caveman period, so I'm just going to keep doing it, and you're just going to keep liking it because that's what drew you guys in from the beginning. And that's really what this numbskull thought. Period. At the end of the day, you can trace it back, and it's all his own fault. But then again, it's his own fault from square one because he shouldn't have relied on YouTube squarely as his sole form of income. Now, most of you are going to be like, well, come on, GTG, it wasn't a sole form of income because he did have Patreon, he had all these other things, but all of that was based around YouTube. Most of it still is. Phil failed because he set himself up to fail. End of story. I'm not denying that people did stuff to him and so on and so forth. But even then, even with the false copyright claims, right? If he had let Machinima do their damn job, he would have walked out of that shit clean. Yeah, he may have not been able to stream for 3 days or whatever it was. So what? 72 hours without doing that bullshit. Keep putting videos up then. Which is what he was going to do anyway. He would have walked away clean. Machinima and or YouTube did not tell him to delete all those videos. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. For dollars to donuts, I guarantee you they did not tell him to do that. He did that because he panicked. And he fucked himself. And then he blamed everybody else.
Are what they are. You know, I know for a fact my YouTube viewership has dwindled because I've been focusing way more on Twitch.
Because Twitch is an archive, right?
In particular. So I know that not as many people go and even watch me on YouTube anymore.
I used to upload 3 to 4 videos.
Your viewership on YouTube was already dwindling at that point anyway. So, just saying.
Per hour of gameplay, now I upload 1.
I upload a ridiculous amount of videos to YouTube. Every day I'm uploading anywhere from like 15 to 30 videos, if not more.
Right?
Yep.
So
And someone else had asked me recently, did he really upload 30 videos a day? If not more. But certainly 30. I like to always sit around that 30 video mark. Oh yeah, he did. And I kind of got lucky with this clip. But yeah, he really did. And he thought people were just going to sit there and take it. And some of them did for a very long time.
just by default, my views are going to plummet. How would they not? Right? If you're watching 3 hours of gameplay a day, you used to watch 12 videos, now you watch 3. So I get 12 views versus 3 views. Of course my views have plummeted. You see what I mean? It's common sense, but people didn't seem to understand this when I was explaining this to them, years and years. I was like, no, guys, the reason my channel works is because I do it this way. No one was listening. Everyone's just, I want an hour-long video. So I give it to you, and look what happens, right? I don't know how else to explain it. It's just the truth. Okay? So anyway.
But then again, he didn't have Machinima's ads backing him up either. He didn't have the money that was coming off of those ads. So that right there kind of killed all that in itself. He saw something that worked on Machinima for a very long time, and he just refused to change. And even though he may have upped the video length occasionally, he kind of always stayed to the 10, 15, 20-minute format, but still gave you 30 of them. 30 goddamn videos a day. That's insane. And there's no way he would think anybody would watch all that. But he really expected people to do so. He basically crowded your guys' subscription feed to the point where it was almost like you couldn't watch anything but him. And by putting so much out, especially with the algorithm back then, putting so much out and having people actually try to attempt to watch as much of it as they could, kept him high up in the algorithm. And then he screwed himself over. We can say what you want about the situation where with the false copyright strikes or claims or so on and so forth. I get that. Trust me. Definitely shouldn't have happened. But how he responded to it is what fucked him at the end of the day. Because I don't think any of the people who were involved in that would have thought he would have reacted the way he did. But Phil chose to do that. He was already a pig in the blanket already. He didn't have to do nothing else. He didn't have to pour syrup and butter over him. That's what Machinima's damn job was. And they would have done their job too. But he got so scared and so freaked out that this is how he acted. And think about all the times before that, previous to that, that they had saved his ass. What made this situation so much different? What made Phil want to be proactive now and take that responsibility out of Machinima's hands to put into his own? Think about that.
That's the truth about the matter. If my YouTube video channel still was bringing in millions of views a month, which sometimes it does bring in like 1 million views, not all the time though, but if it was still bringing in millions of views a month, would I be making more money on YouTube? Yes, absolutely. Would that be helping me right now? Yes, absolutely. But I still don't think, with all the problems and all the drop in revenue YouTube's had, I don't think I still would be able to make a living just doing YouTube videos. I think I would have had to diversify and become a streamer no matter what. I think that was it was looming, it was impending, it was going to happen. Okay?
And so ladies and gentlemen, why wasn't he in front of that? Why couldn't he get ahead of that? Why did he have to wait for it to happen to finally do something instead of having some of the foresight to do it beforehand. Because it was easy, it was convenient, and he didn't want to have to work harder than he wanted to. He can sit there and say, oh, no one can predict the future, this, that, and the third. No one could have done any of those things. When Machinima was cutting him almost yearly in his pay, he should have realized, I need to do something else. But no, he didn't. Because he had too many suckers out there to give him money, to give him views, that it wasn't enough. And Mommy and Daddy was still giving him money too. And when I say that suckers were giving him money, I'm not just talking about Patreon. I'm saying that I think Phil was getting large donations behind the scenes. I have a video that I did that it was back in 2009, I think, right around the time Modern Warfare, because he still had a job at the time. 2009, when Modern Warfare 2 was about to come out. And he said that people had given him very large donations behind the scenes, and he was very thankful. And he didn't want to shout anybody out because he didn't want to put anybody in a bad position. Similar to the script that you're hearing here. So people were already giving him large, at least, now I can't give you guys a scope on what would be large amounts of money. I'm saying at least a couple $100s is what I'm thinking. But he had people back then that were giving him a couple $100s each month in donations. On Patreon, or not Patreon, on PayPal. And this right here is pre-Patreon by at least 4 or 5 years, if not longer. So trust me, he's been playing the game for a real long time. And you think those donations stopped after he made all that YouTube money? When it was all a gravy train, when it was all milk and honey. You really think he stopped taking donations? You think someone didn't send Phil $200 on PayPal, and he was like, "Oh, I don't need your money," and sent it back? Do you really think he did that?
Twitch loves me and my streams, and the answer is this: they're a very preferential website. Twitch TV looks for streamers who are going to constantly be begging for money. Okay? I need subs, send me donations and subs. Twitch is the future. Half the stream is them begging for money anyway. Half the stream is them playing fucking, donate to this, Patreon this, subs this, money, money, money. Here comes a shout out. Because that's what Twitch TV has fucking become. I am so fucking glad that I am not on Twitch TV anymore. I love Twitch. Twitch is all about subscriptions. You gotta subscribe. Get those custom emotes and shit. Subscribe. That's why everyone over there is all about their subs. My hard work here on Twitch is paying off. At least the work I'm putting into Twitch is paying off and showing positive growth. That's the good news. Because the bottom line is Twitch is a bad business. Twitch is not a good place to put out quality content. It's not. You are constantly nagged to advertise and or push subs or product so that you can make money, and they'll make money, they get profit from that, and then you get profit from that. They don't care about actual games. They don't care about what you put on your stream as long as this is coming into them. I am growing on Twitch, actually. I've been growing pretty consistently, especially when there's...
Actually, when you think about that last segment where he said they don't care what you put on your stream as long as you're bringing in money, that right there, that statement may have been a whole lot more honest than we gave credit for at that time. Or at least speaking for myself anyway. I think it was I think I didn't give that enough credence when he first said it.
New game release content,
or at least when I first heard it.
Like, things have been going really well here on Twitch. So as you, the YouTube viewers, there's 2 things you can do to help. Number 1, you can attend this Saturday's stream. Check out the actual stream at my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/DarkSidePhil. I'll be streaming 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on March 23rd. Come by, say hello, and contribute. Only tipping that's going to help. Now, if you absolutely cannot make it to the stream on Saturday, all right, you can still leave a tip. Twitch is huge to me. Twitch is the reason why I'm still doing this for a living. It's my main source of income. It's my livelihood. Right? It is very much. Twitch is what I do on a daily basis. Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. I just can't help it. By eBay. Contributions are mandatory, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you. No decency, no respect, no common sense, no fucking maturity is the guy.
You damn right. Holy shizzle, ladies and gentlemen. No, let's let this play out. Let's let this play out.
I who just doesn't get reality.
Wow. Indeed. It's a hurtful situation. Very hurtful. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's clean up a little bit. Thank you yet again to Snort Burnell. I very much appreciate it. Let's go ahead and do all that. Let's go ahead.
Hey yo, I just want to say shout out to my red bike. It got stolen about a year ago, and I think about you every day.
Big ups and shouts out to the red bike. Well, shouts out to the red bike, but big ups to the blue bike. Now, ladies and gentlemen, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? This was a long one, but had a good time with it though. It's been a while since well, not really. The last couple of broadcasts have been pretty long like this, to be honest. But my milk and cookies doesn't mind it, so yeah. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? So, no day one views on the Genesis Mini. Like I said, he's not gonna utilize that properly. Begging interactions and dramatic drop off on YouTube, off YouTube on views. Sorry, dramatic drop off on YouTube views. That was bound to happen either which way. He didn't plan properly. He saw all the signs, which he should have seen with Machinima cutting his pay. Didn't want to do anything about it because he thought eventually it would just turn itself around. When everything didn't, he blamed YouTube like they were the majority, responsible for the situation. At the end of the day, YouTube doesn't have to stay stagnant for him. YouTube is not supposed to stay stagnant so that he can keep making money at the velocity that he was. Just like when Twitch starts changing up, and they ended up starting to deprioritize him more and more and more, if they haven't done it already. They don't have to sit there and be stagnant so Phil Burnell can make a living and shit and pay his bills. They don't give a fuck about that. That's not their problem. They're providing him the platform, and they're providing him the space for him to put his bullshit on. They take their cut, he takes his cut. If he don't know how to manage his money, that's it. If he don't like it, tell him to go and start his own fucking website. Tell him to go ahead and get his own server and host all of his own shit over there. End of that. Let's see here. Like I said, make my streams fun and entertaining. And once again in the red, after a day off, well, he spent a bunch of money and he needs to recoup. You guys already know that. The thing about making his YouTube streams more entertaining is bullshit for a variety of different reasons. One of the bigger problems I think that comes out of that is the more dependent he is on his own fan base, the more he's going to screw himself over. He doesn't realize it yet. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why he can't bring anybody new in, because he can't even carry his own streams. He expects other people to do it. He sat there and got mad the other day because people were like, you should ask us questions. And Phil was like, I'm not at your fucking, well, sorry, I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, but I'm not at your stream. I don't have to ask you guys questions. You ask me questions. I'm the streamer. I'm the center of attention here. You should be trying to interact with me. I don't have to interact with you guys. Now, he didn't say that verbatim. He didn't say that word for word, but that's pretty much what he implied. So make of that what you will. That's quality entertainment there. And then him not taking the bait. If it was better bait, but it is what it is. I'm always truthful to you. Jesus Christ, we don't even need to get back into that. And begging and getting Borderlands 3. I mean, it is what it is. He got it. He's gonna play it poorly. It's not gonna be fun because he doesn't want to co-op with people anymore. He's taking the enjoyment out of gaming for himself, and sadly for the audience at large. And if they're willing to deal with it, then fuck them. Let them deal with it, and they can pick up and leave. There's nothing there, that's holding them back. The only thing that's holding them back is themselves, and you can't feel sympathy for that. You have to, at the end of the day, you're going to have to learn how to walk. It is what it is. They chose to go over there and let Phil keep limping along instead of forcing his ass to walk. To put all of his weight on all of those hooves and actually walk. They were like, don't worry, Phil. We're going to go ahead and get under your little piggy armpits. Smells like fucking spam that's been out in the sun for a week at a time, and we'll carry you, kicking and screaming. Well, we'll kick you. And then what? Oh, now he's pissed off, and now they're carrying him, kicking and screaming, because he's like, you guys aren't carrying me fast enough. I'm not able to keep up with these other people. These other people he doesn't watch, by the way. He doesn't have the audience. He's not making all the crazy money that they're making. You guys are doing something wrong. Now he's saying that, oh, the content, you don't like the content now? Oh, the content isn't up to snuff? Oh, well, you need to bring your expectations down. You need to work with me on this. I know the content's garbage. You need to just go ahead and deal with it. Alright then, if they're okay with doing it, let them. At the end of the day, fuck it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. And I will see you guys for the next broadcast, whenever that may be. Hopefully sooner than later. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report, and this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG Network and Productions. For the Snort Report, I am your host, /anchor, GTG, and I'm signing off. Long live SnortBucks Coffee. Long live the Detractor community. It's a beautiful thing. See you guys for the next broadcast. Later!
I hope that it's alright with you. With you, with you. I told my girl I got a new thing, yeah. I hope that it's alright with you. With you, with you. Hey yo, someone stole my red bike, so I bought a blue one. If I see that fucker riding it, then I'ma sue one. Got rich, then I blew up, got everyone in my crew one. Ride for my true ones. Yo, I told my girl I got a new thing. Yeah. I hope that this alright with you. With you, with you.